is. Yeah, we're ready to go, man. Steelers and Cowboys in about 10 minutes right here, and we're going to be watching it, hanging out with some awesome guests today. First guest, I don't know if he's a guest, but he's Will Brinson. He's here all the time. I'm Adam Aizer. What's going on, Will?
See, I just sort of think it's like my show too, and we're here together.
I agree. You've earned that. Co-host Will Brinson.
No, I don't want to be a co-host. Just here for the ride.
Okay. All right. Okay. You're like the Charles Barkley. That's cool.
Yeah. That's probably right.
Yeah.
Better golf game, but
we got DeMarco Murray coming on. We got Dave Dameshek coming on. We've got Bryant McFadden coming on. We got Nano DeFino coming on. Will Brinson is fired up for today's cast of characters.
It'll be a good time. B-Mac's been on the Pick Six podcast a bunch. Shek has done it as well. I used to do Shek's the Dave Dameshek football program over at NFL Media when he was there all the time. Now he's got a bunch of podcasts with cousin Sal. And I don't know anything about DeMarco Murray, but I loved him as a player. And maybe he'll thrash Chip Kelly.
Am I saying his name wrong? It's Dameshek or Dameshek?
Dameshek.
Damn, right. Okay.
Dave Dameshek.
Damn, okay. I got it right. All right, we're all good here. We're going to react to some fantasy stuff before the game gets started, Cowboys and Steelers. First of all, though, let's get the updated odds here. Let's see who you like in the game. Checking now, Pittsburgh is minus 14. Total is 44. How you feeling about those, Will?
I don't think you can take I don't really like either one of them, to be perfectly honest, just because I know that's not helpful. But like I can't take Dallas. Like Dallas is terrible.
Right.
They're maybe worse than the Jets.
No.
Maybe.
But
I also can't, 14 is just too many points to lay.
That's a lot.
I would probably look at, I don't know if you can take, can you take like the Steelers team total over is 30.5?
Oh man. I think I'd go under that.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. All right. Well, don't bet, but let's talk about some fantasy football here. Christian McCaffrey is back. And first of all, he's still playing. There are 5 seconds left and it's Hail Mary time. They do not have any timeouts. The Chiefs are about to call timeouts. Five seconds left. I think I might have said minutes. 5 seconds left. 33-31 Chiefs. I'm sure you all are watching. And the Panthers are basically at midfield with 5 seconds to play. So we will get a Hail Mary attempt there. But Christian McCaffrey is just having a massive game. He is awesome. Remember that report, Will? I don't know if you saw it, that he and Mike Davis were going to rotate series.
I did, and that did not happen.
It did not happen. Mike Davis has one carry. He does have 5 catches, but Christian McCaffrey has currently 26 non-PPR and 35 PPR fantasy points. And this is now 3 games played, 6 touchdowns for Christian McCaffrey. 5 rushing, 1 receiving. Absolutely unbelievable. You have any big football or fantasy takeaways you want to talk about?
I mean, I just don't think that you can ever fade DK Metcalf again. He might be the best wide receiver in football.
How did the Ole Miss ever lose with him and AJ Brown? The two of those guys are. All right, we got our first guest coming on right now. DeMarco Murray is about to join the program now. We will talk to him about the Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers, and more. Tennessee Titans, Philadelphia Eagles, sure. DeMarco, let's see if we got him.
You gotta wait till he connects to audio.
You gotta wait. I heard.
Be patient with me.
I heard the doorbell. 2 seconds left here for the Carolina Panthers. The heck of an effort here by the Panthers, by the way, Will. Down 2 at the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, very impressive. I think, one of the takeaways, even though the Panthers will probably be on a 3-game losing streak after, they're attempting a really, really, really 67-yard field goal. This is their second 67-yard field goal attempt of the season, I think. Or is it 65 before? In Arrowhead, outdoors.
This is tying
Joey fly, it's up, and it's wide. No good.
All right. You know what? He had the leg. Looked like it just went a little wide.
I like what they did there, though. They tried a short pass and then gave him a look. Because they weren't going to get there on the Hail Mary, I don't think.
It's DeMarco. DeMarco Murray, are you there?
It still says connecting to audio.
Connecting. Okay, it still says connecting. All right, we'll get him. I didn't see. I didn't know. Maybe just his video wasn't on. All right, so with that Seahawks-Bills game was a fantasy bonanza. 44-34, the final score. Josh Allen was started in about 80% of leagues, I think, and he scored 41 fantasy points. He had a rushing touchdown. He had 415 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Russell Wilson was having a pretty bad game, but he bounced back with 25 fantasy points, most of it late. Metcalf, 108 yards and a touchdown. What about Tyler Lockett, man? Tyler Lockett, 4 catches for 40 yards. I think that's now 4 of his last 5 or 5 of his last 6 with like less than 50 yards.
Well, yeah, and I thought he was going to – I had him in all of my DFS lineups that I stacked with Russ and not Metcalf. I will say this. I do think there were multiple pass interference penalties. He had that long near catch on third down that was kind of a throwaway by Russell Wilson. And then he also had, I think, at least a 30 or 40-yard pass interference penalty. I just thought that they would tilt the coverage towards Metcalf and it would open things up for Lockett, and it just didn't.
I think they put Tre'Davious White on Metcalf a lot. I shouldn't say that. I mean, I saw some moments, but he's had a little bit of a step back here anyway. But I mean, yeah, you can't stop DK Metcalf. No, only one person can, and that would be Patrick Peterson. And we are going to be talking to Bryant McFadden, who knows Patrick Peterson quite well.
For their cousins.
Yes, and they host a podcast together. So we'll find out the secret.
Josh Allen had a monster game.
Yeah, 31 of 38.
He was and credit to how am I drawing a blank on his name? Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator for the Bills, and Sean McDermott. They didn't try to run the ball. They didn't bother running the ball. They didn't they came out and just threw. And that's how you beat Seattle. Like if you try, like when San Francisco struggled against the Seahawks a few weeks ago, it's because it was odd. Like Kyle Shanahan came out and just tried to run into the Seahawks defensive line. Like that's not how you beat them. You beat them by winging the ball, like throwing outside to your receivers, and they just can't defend it.
Dude, I have a fantasy team this week where I started JaMychal Hasty, Evan Singletary, Darius Slayton, Jordan Reed. I'm not going to win. I did have Christian McCaffrey, but I am not going to win. That is horrible. Oh, Justin Jackson hurt his knee already? Are you kidding me? He's one of my favorites this week.
That's not good.
Oh, that is not good at all. Thank you, Schrager, for the update. Justin Jackson already just several minutes into that game, halfway through the first quarter. That is a shame. Very disappointing. Hope he can get back out there. I don't know the severity. Let's talk about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had 5 carries for 14 yards. Another team that didn't run. Patrick Mahomes, 372 yards, 4 touchdowns. Another huge game for him.
I just refuse to use Patrick Mahomes in DFS for some stupid reason. I keep using Lamar Jackson and stacking him with Marquise Brown or Mark Andrews, and I just won't use Patrick Mahomes. And I don't know what is wrong with me. Of course he had a huge game again. Like, of course he did.
Yeah, because you never know what their game plan is going to be. He had like 3 games in his last 4 coming in where
I thought they were going to try to pound the ball and
38 passes, right? And that's what I thought too. And no, they ran 9 times. Kansas City running backs had 9 carries in this game.
Well, what happened was Carolina just got up on them and they were forced to really try to cut loose.
I just want to make sure DeMarco Murray is not on. I don't think he is, but it's sitting there. Okay. All right. We'll get him. We have plenty to talk about anyway. So Teddy Bridgewater, though, he threw 49 times. That helps. He ran for a touchdown. He also had an incredible run on a 4th and 14 where he picked up the first down and 31 fantasy points. What do you make of that? Curtis Samuel was great. McCaffrey, big in the passing game. Another bad day for DJ Moore. I'm sure people are freaking out. What do you think about the Panthers?
Well, I think the Panthers just are. I'm really impressed by Carolina overall as a team. I mean, like from a fantasy perspective, I don't think they're going to be. I mean, Chris McCaffrey's going to be awesome, but I don't know that like Teddy Bridgewater is ever going to be necessarily like. I don't know. I mean, I think he's going to be like he's a good bye week fill-in. I think
Bridgewater, yeah.
Yeah, I mean his ceiling is largely capped. Although they threw 49 times. And you throw 49 times, you'd probably like to see more than 310 yards. He just doesn't throw the ball downfield very well, and you just don't. They're never going to be consistent with who is getting the yardage. Maybe it's different now with McCaffrey back, But like, Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson all sort of rotate. Moore, I think, is very concerning. With CMC back, he gets 10 targets. Samuel gets 9. And
Samuel getting 9, leading the team in receiving. That's a tough break. But there was a lot of short stuff for Samuel.
Yep.
One of those dumb touchdown passes that I don't really consider a pass. But Robbie Anderson, 13 targets, only 3 for DJ Moore. I mean, that's really concerning, really disappointing. So, yeah, a lot of people are going to be disappointed there. We are underway. The Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it is wide receiver roulette for the Steelers. We know that. And James Conner gets the carry on the first play of the game, and he should have a pretty good game. Give me the scenario, Will, by which the Dallas Cowboys win this game.
Big Ben's elbow explodes.
Okay. Yeah, I hope that does not happen.
I mean, I don't either, but you just asked for the scenario in which Dallas wins. I'm having a HD antenna issue with my CBS feed for some reason.
Okay, well, you work on that. So if anybody's in the chat room, you want to ask a question, Dalvin Cook MVP, that's a decent call. I know a lot of people think running backs are replaceable. I think Dalvin Cook kind of disproves that every week. He is. Well,
and have you looked at his schedule coming up?
No.
Jaguars,
no.
Cowboys, Panthers.
Yeah.
He has the Bears next week. And then they have those 3 games, which they feel like it could absolutely win.
Yeah. And like every team's making the playoffs this year, Will. So don't count out the Vikings. Don't count out the Falcons. Don't count out pretty much any team right now to make the playoffs. By the way, I think it's hilarious that Nick Foles ended up with 25 fantasy points.
That is hilarious. He was awful.
Yeah. And he threw 52 passes. Roethlisberger scrambling on 3rd and 8, picking up the first down. All right. Hey, what do you think about Antonio Brown tonight?
I mean, I'm sort of disappointed that he's like on the Buccaneers. I will also say that I think it's really weird that Tom Brady continues to like have him live in his house.
Is that happening?
Yeah, he's like living with Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. I don't really get it.
How did Devontae Booker just score a touchdown? What was that all? Why was that not a Josh Jacobs touchdown? I didn't see the beginning of the play.
I love the Raiders today. I thought they would dominate the Chargers.
Let's take a look at this play. Was it a run? Yeah, it just looks like he was in the game. Well, that's annoying. Okay. Yeah, well, all right. I'm looking forward to seeing Antonio Brown in action tonight. Let's check in on one more game before DeMarco Murray joins us in a couple of minutes here. Will, pick the game. Would you like Detroit, Minnesota, Houston, Jacksonville, Denver, Atlanta, Giants football team, Chicago, Tennessee, Baltimore, Indianapolis?
Wow, long touchdown run for Devontae.
Yeah. I'll pick it. Let's do Denver and Atlanta. Atlanta 34, Denver 27, as the Steelers have 2nd and 7 now, and they are run heavy so far. Drew Lock, 32 fantasy points, and a lot of it late. 48 passes in this game. Jerry Jeudy had a huge game, 7 for 125 and 1. This is coming off a game with 10 targets and like 40 yards and a touchdown, or 4 catches. I don't remember what he had last week. What do you think about Jerry Jeudy, Will? Second half breakout?
Yeah, I think that could happen. Drew Lock is like clearly enjoys targeting him.
Yep.
I will say though that, I mean, like Lock ended up with a pretty decent day, 25 for 48, 313, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. But I mean, they were awful early. Like they didn't do anything until late when they were down. I'm trying to think what the score was like. It was 34-13 in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
That's when Locke sort of picked up most of his yards and most of his production. And I think the same thing with Jerry Jeudy. So I would be a little worried about Vic Fangio being extremely conservative and Pat Shurmur's game plan not being awesome. But yeah, I mean, I think Jerry Jeudy is a guy that is absolutely startable every week I mean, it looks like, and now did Noah Fant come back in after that injury? Okay. Jeudy got 14 targets. And I think one of them was a pretty long pass interference situation. We have DeMarco Murray here now.
We do have DeMarco Murray, Will. Enough about Jerry Jeudy. DeMarco Murray has joined us. What's going on, DeMarco?
Not much. How you guys doing?
What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Good.
Thank you for coming on the Home Team Watch Party presented by Lowe's. Cowboys and Steelers. All right, how do the Cowboys pull out this win? Give me the formula.
Got to get turnovers. I got to get Big Ben and throw him a couple. Hopefully, I got the game on in the background right now. But if they can run the ball, get Zeke going, obviously he's going to have to be that offensive power on today's game and get CD, get those guys going, get them some easy targets in space, and let the athletes be the athletes, and hopefully make a play, make some explosive plays. But got to let Zeke run and get that guy going for sure.
You could also maybe you could get like 58-minute field goal drive. It stopped the Steelers here, and then you get a 58-minute drive that ends in like a 9-yard field goal.
That would be great if that could happen.
I mean, I'm mostly. I mean, it just feels hard to like. It's just tough for the Cowboys at this point. Like the injuries are insane with what they've dealt with, and I don't know. It's like Pittsburgh's. Like the Cowboys have to be good at running the ball right now, or else they're not going to do well. And Pittsburgh's like one thing they do well is stop the run. So,
yeah, you definitely want to run the ball as much as you can, and limit the offensive opportunities for the Steelers, and you got to control the clock, man. You got to control the clock, take care of the ball. If you can do those two things, you'll have a great shot to close it at the end and try to limit the Steelers' opportunities. But you got to take care of the ball, and you got to get some great stops. So I think they're putting right now, so that's one stop, so they'll be all right from here.
Chase Claypool just dropped what could have been a long touchdown if he had caught that ball. It wasn't the easiest catch, but opportunity there for Claypool doesn't come down with it. So I know you're busy, with Oklahoma and all that. And I don't know how much you're able.
Are you in the facility right now?
Yeah. I just left.
It looked
I'm in my running back room, so I was just watching some film. So
nice.
Who is the greatest?
I'm trying to ask a question here.
I had him queued up. I was watching Kyler Murray run. I was going to ask him if he had to pick. Does he go Kyler or Baker?
Okay, fine. Go ahead. That's fine. That's a good question. Kyler or Baker?
I mean, both of those guys are good. They're really good. I wouldn't choose either one of them, or I wouldn't be able to choose, between the two. Both Heisman Trophy winners, obviously both leaders, great leaders here at the University of Oklahoma, doing great things for the Browns in Arizona. But I got to go with both of them. Can't just choose one.
Yeah, that's actually probably the smart answer for someone who's currently employed by the University of Oklahoma.
No doubt.
DeMarco, I never would have asked that question. That was totally.
I wasn't trying to put you in a bad spot, but I didn't realize that halfway through that. Like,
it's all good.
Like that could be a headline. It's like Murray or like Oklahoma RB coach, like Kyler better than Baker.
Valid question.
Yeah. Well, Kyler just fumbled actually, and the Dolphins' lowest scoring defense in football give up the fewest points. They just ran a fumble back, and they are up 6-0.
What?
Yep, it happened.
Crap.
Anyway, so what I was going to ask was, I'm not sure how much you've been able to watch Ezekiel Elliott, but what do you see from him? He hasn't made a lot of explosive plays last year and this year now, and the offensive line is really struggling and injured and all that. But what are you seeing from Ezekiel Elliott, and what do you think we can expect today?
Hopefully they just get us some touches, from the games that I have seen. I'm not sure that he's gotten, going as far as, he's getting the reps, he's getting the carries time after time. Like I said, I haven't watched all the games. I've been able to watch some quarters here and there, but the biggest thing is just the injuries. When the injuries, stack up, especially at the offensive line, they kind of put that target on his back. And with Dak going down, they know that, they're going to load the box. They're going to have 7-8 guys in there every single time. And you got to, obviously win on the perimeter, one-on-one matchups and things of that nature. But I think you got to be creative and find ways to give them the ball. Usually they do a good job of getting them the ball on screens and things of that nature. But I think you gotta feed him. Obviously that's his motto: just feed him until he gets lathered up, until he gets a groove, and let him kind of take over the game. But once again, you gotta slow down the opportunities that the Steelers get and try to control the clock as best you can.
Garrett Gilbert taking the snaps now for the Dallas Cowboys. How would you compare yourself with Zeke? Do you think you were similar running backs in the NFL?
Just body wise, he's obviously shorter than me. I think he's a little heavier than I am as well, but similar to a certain degree. I think versatility, I think we are, separate a little bit in that category. Not saying that I was used more in the passing game than he was or anything like that, but I just think, he's an inside zone runner. I mean, he can run obviously outside as well, but I think he's a little bit, more prone to running inside rather than outside zone. He's powerful, but he's athletic, man. He's athletic. He's strong. The thing about him is he understands the run scheme. He's very intelligent when it comes to the game, not just obviously in the running game, but he knows how to, as running backs, you got to be great actors, and he's really good acting in the screen game and knowing how to get behind his blockers, and he catches the ball very well. And like I said, he understands the offense. He's been in it for a while, so he's doing good. He's doing good. They just got to obviously, get him some help, and they got to find ways to be creative with him.
How about the Cowboys driving down the field here, Will? It was a nice throw to Amari Cooper.
Oh, man, this HC antenna thing is bothering me. And I think with Zeke too. What's that?
You're gonna be 5 minutes behind. We'll let you know how the game goes.
Yeah, do tell. Now I feel like this is how our guests feel when they have to come on. I mean, I think with Zeke too, they had to make a really conscientious effort in the last 2 or 3 years, or maybe 2 years, to get him more involved in the pass game, to keep him out there on all those snaps. And you came out of the gate from the draft averaging way more receptions than he. You were involved in the pass game as a receiver more than he was out of the gate, for sure, right?
Yeah, I think that all has to do with just, just the weapons we have versus who they have now, receivers. I had a guy, Lance Dunbar, was very good at running routes out of the backfield when I was there, and I don't think they necessarily have that in a running back. I know Pollard is pretty good. He's kind of dynamic. But I think, we just kind of, with Romo, he loved running those choice routes out of the backfield. So I think it had a lot to do with him and kind of what he wanted and kind of what our offense was at that time rather than what they are now. So obviously some similarities, but I think it's just different. In college, I think I played a lot more receiver than he did. So I kind of had that knack and things of that nature. So I think that helped out a lot.
They gave you 392 carries in 2000.
Oh yeah, dude, crazy!
That's the dumbest number. I mean, that's crazy. That is, and you didn't slow down either. It's all I feel like your running style maybe sort of similar to Derrick Henry in the sense that it was all, especially that year, it was like the more they gave you the ball, the stronger you got. It was waiting to break a big one. Did it feel like that in real time?
Yeah, I think it's funny, hearing outsiders that they talk about that and they talk about, it's too much for a back, but guys don't really understand or really know the game, because for a running back, you want to get as many touches as you can. And if you're a pro and if you take care of your body, it's not the physicality, it's not the carries. If you're taking care of your body consistently, if you're finding ways to maneuver, I think I was really good. I never really took hard hits. So I was really good at getting tackled and things of that nature, being physical when I needed to, obviously when the play's over, be smart, get out of bounds, or, you don't need to fight for extra yards. So it's always funny. And it's kind of, I laugh about it when people say, oh, they ran him into the ground or they're doing it to Zeke. You're a running back. You're going to get carries. You're going to get hit. And, you have to be a pro and take care of your bodies. You got to do things obviously pre and post practice and making sure that you can withstand those carries and stay at a high level. And I think I was able to do that. I think Zeke is able to do it. I think Derrick Henry's able to do it. But if there is, I wish I would have gotten 492 that year, if it was up to me, so I think any running back would say that.
Well, I apologize for not remembering the circumstances here, but that was actually that was your fourth year in the league, was your last year with Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So was that a free agency year? And then you went to Philadelphia?
You don't remember? Oh man, this was like DeMarco's free agency was one of the hot it was a hot topic in covering the NFL, because you had just put up a monster season and everybody does should you pay running backs thing, the debate. Okay. And then he ends up going and signing with Chip and the Eagles. And then they didn't really use you the right way. It didn't feel like, cause you didn't,
it was different. It was different.
All right. Well, and you're a professional coach, so you may not want to answer this one either, but I'm going to ask you the question anyway. You can choose whether to answer it or not. When you signed with Philly, was there a little bit is there a little bit of all right, it's in the division because like Jerry won't pay me. I might get to play the Cowboys twice. Is that real in those decisions?
Well, there's a couple factors that went into it. It wasn't about the money. I had 2 to 3 other offers that were 10 to 12 million more than what they offered me guaranteed wise. So it wasn't about that. It had to do with the team and just what I thought at the time. And they were a good team. I think we just kind of gelled a bunch of pieces together, and it's going to take more than a year for a team to gel. When you have a new starting running back and new starting quarterback with myself, Sam, couple new receiver additions. So, with
Bradford, Oklahoma too. I didn't think.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things, a lot of factors that went into it. But my thinking was going into a team that I was familiar with. Obviously, I had played them, 2 years or 2 times in each of my 4 years being in Dallas, and knowing Chip, knowing Sam was going there, knowing the offensive line, knowing the offensive system, and hadn't played in it at Oklahoma and things of that nature. So it wasn't about the money. It wasn't it wasn't an extra incentive that in the same division. Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome to be able to go play the Cowboys and play against your former teammates and friends and people that I still have respect for to this day. It was, it was a little extra incentive, but wasn't the ultimate thing that I get to go play the game. It wasn't like that. It was just, I think, as far as the team itself and the organization, it was just the perfect fit for myself and my family at the time.
So when you got the 392 carries in your last year of your contract, I think a lot of people would be like, well, they're not going to keep him. They might as well just run him into the ground. Did Dallas do that thinking, well, he's probably not going to be back next year. We might as well just,
not at all. Not at all. We're trying to win the championship. I don't think any coach or any player or any staff members thinking, hey, let's run them. And, we're trying to benefit. We're trying to win. That's what this game, that's why you play. That's what you're doing. You're trying to win a championship, and, we're rolling. And for us, it was that year. It was just, hey, we were very good at rushing the ball and setting up the play action game and keeping Romo upright and things of that nature. So we had a great formula and it worked, and we felt that obviously, the no catch whole deal, so, things happen, and it just obviously didn't finish our way.
Right. And last question about this particular season, because I ask you these questions, I don't get a chance to talk to NFL players that often. And we have these theories, in fantasy community, the people who have never played football before, that having that kind of workload would affect you negatively the following season. Did it? Were you tired next year? Were you less effective because of the workload?
Not at all. Not at all. If you train the way you should train, and specifically for myself, I was trained and I was, mature and I was physically capable of handling that plus some. When you looked at the off season, I didn't have any injuries, didn't have any surgeries, didn't have to miss any time or anything of that nature. So I felt great. Body was intact, but no, it didn't end my career. It didn't, the next year it didn't have a toll on my body or whatnot. So just, you got to take care of your body. I think, 99.9% of the guys in this league, you do a great job at taking care of your body, managing your body, spending money, massages, therapists, eating right, the whole deal. So no, it wasn't bad at all.
Well, and I've forgotten too. So that this is the really crazy thing about the Eagles thing is that so they had Shady was the running back in Philly, and then Chip trades Shady.
That's what it was, right?
To Buffalo. And then they went out and signed Frank Gore, but then Frank Gore bailed on the deal with the Eagles and backed out. Then they signed Ryan Matthews. It was like, all right, Ryan Matthews is the guy there. And then when DeMarco's stuff with Dallas fell through, Philly swept in, and all of a sudden they had both Matthews and DeMarco. And that was part of it too that I think people missed, because people just look at the raw stats. They're like, oh, well, he had 392 carries, and then he wasn't as productive the following year, but it was a new team, a new offense. And Chip was it was weird how he was distributing the carries. It felt like just from afar. Like
I said, it was just a new team and new things. It wasn't anybody's fault. It wasn't that I did this or he did that. It's a new formula that we didn't have enough time to really dilute and kind of, gel together as a team. We had a bunch of injuries, and, it was a new year. And like I said, it was a good learning experience for everyone, I think, involved, and I think everyone came out just fine.
But what was which market is more insane to live and work in as a football player, Dallas or Philly?
It's two different. It's totally different. It's just totally different. I just for me, I enjoyed Philly. I loved everything about Philly. Just the fans, the people, the city itself, the grit of it. It's they're behind you 100%, and it truly is brotherly love there. And having been on the other side, being a Cowboy, you hated going into a place like that, but you love the environment because it's special, and you knew you had to be on your game. And then being on the opposition side of it, being on that side, and now hearing the cheers and things of that nature. So it was good. There's nothing that I can say negative about Philadelphia. Dallas, I love Dallas. Obviously, I've been there for 4 years, and the city itself is just totally different. It's totally different. They back their players. They love their team, and there's nothing like football in Texas.
By the way, Will, in about 5 minutes, Greg Zuerlein's going to kick a field goal and put the Cowboys up 3-0. Just so
there you go.
I wish I could show you my it's like literally like frozen garbage on my television. Like it's like a bunch of like mixed mash stuff. That was a good drive though.
It was a really good drive. And it took a lot
not a 58-minute drive, but it was a good drive, huh?
That's pretty good. Yeah. Another thing that fantasy football and football analysts talk about is injury prone, right? And the first 3 years of your career, I think you missed 11 games. I don't remember if they were all for injury, but it seemed like you maybe had some trouble staying healthy. In the last 4 years of your career, you missed 2 games. So is there a secret to avoiding the injury-prone tag or staying? You talked a lot about keeping your body right, but does that exist, being injury-prone? Is there something behind that?
I think, the injuries that I had, I think my rookie year, I think I broke my ankle against the Giants, second to last game of the season, and then the year after that, I had the Liz Frank deal in my foot. And I think that cost me about 6 games, 5 or 6 games, or something like that. But I wouldn't say it was a injury-prone deal. Those injuries happen. You can't, if there was a magic, kind of ideal for, they would never happen. But, they come and go when necessary or when they come. But, I don't think there's it's a physical game. You're going to get injured. If you're lucky to play games like Jason Witten, knock on wood, one of my best friends, he's played, his career with, amazing, just kind of being on the field, being available. And he's done a great job. And he's a guy that I looked at, when I first came into the season on what's his regimen. You got to find a regimen when you get into the league on food, on internal medicine, on just, your workout, your work ethic and things of that nature. So, injuries happen. There's no rhyme or reason for it. I don't have a magic answer for it, or how to avoid them, or you just gotta stick with your routine and hopefully it works.
So I have an injury follow up.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think one of the things that like people don't really understand about college football and how much it's changed is that the stuff that goes on in college football buildings now, this is a sort of a question, but maybe more of a statement, and just curious your thoughts, like the sort of methods that players are using for training and is like wildly different than like even when you were in school, right? Like they're doing like massage, like you point out massages. They have like all this tracking equipment and like to measure like their like the hydration levels throughout the day. It's pretty wild, isn't it, the difference?
Yeah, there's a sports science behind it, and when I got to Philly, that was one of the great attributes behind the whole deal. Another reason why I went there, you look at the whole aspect of things and what they're doing from a nutritional standpoint and sports science standpoint. And as a player, especially as a runner, you feel like, hey, I want to, that would help me with longevity, stand on the field and things of that nature. But all of it, kind of goes into effect of, how can I be the best version of myself? What can I do to stay on the field? What can I do to get stronger and faster during the season? So you have a regiment that you go off of. And, but yeah, there's all kinds of things now that, being here in Oklahoma, you see it. And, obviously with the pandemic, some things we're not able to do, but, it's eye-opening, and it's good behind the science and allowing, the GPS system and the workload, and you get to see your back's workload, how many miles per hour they're hitting every single day. So you get to see all of that every single day, every time you're on the field.
I have a follow-up on Jason Witten in a bit, but I did want to ask you about college football real quick. Let's say like you went to Oklahoma, you had the big 4 overtime win over Texas. Let's say you and your friend, your alma maters played, and maybe this is someone you're hosting a show with or something like that, like at the current moment. Let's say your alma maters played this past weekend, and
nonsense.
Your team won
in
dramatic fashion, like a great win. What kind of trash talk do you think you'd lay down on your buddy? Because I'm just curious, I don't know, just asking for a friend, I guess.
Well, it depends on who's the buddy, I mean. But for me, all my guys, if I won, I mean, I'm talking mad trash to them, for a whole week at least,
Okay.
So
A week.
yeah, I mean, we're getting personal with it. So
what do you think? Well,
my friends can take it. We can dish it. We can take it. So I don't know. It's all based on the friend, I guess.
Well, in Texas, Oklahoma, a little bit different. Yeah, I would expect trash talk. Look, NC State was a 10.5-point underdog. We had a backup quarterback in. We lost our guy to a leg injury. And that was a heartbreaking loss. We were up. We should have won that game. We find ways to lose games.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
It was a glorious win for my alma mater. And you know what? The thing is, Will can take the trash talk. I can't. So if Miami had lost and Will had trash talk, I would have been in a bad mood. But I know Will is more mature than I am. But Jason Witten, all right, listen, tell him I said this. I, honest to God, think he is going to be a great broadcaster. I know people were a little critical of him. He just had to get his feet wet. But he had the most interesting things to say. You could tell he's a very cerebral guy. Obviously understands football so well. I want him to get back in the broadcast booth when he's done because I thought he did a great job, man.
Nah, he'll be coaching.
Okay.
He'll be coaching.
You can see him being an assistant coach at Tennessee pretty easily.
He loves the sidelines. He loves ball. So I mean, he did great at the broadcast, But I think I think he's better off on the field coaching.
Well, you know what the thing about that broadcast gig too is I thought ESPN made a mistake by you can't just take 3 guys who have never worked together, toss them in a booth on a primetime standalone game and expect it to be magical and perfect. You need
rapport.
He
did good. He did, it's just, it's hard. It's a hard gig. It's, you're going to have critics all over the place. It's Monday Night Football, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Just checking in on some games here. 7-7. Kyler Murray did throw a touchdown. So that's
nice.
excellent. 2 Lowe is here. What's up?
I was just gonna ask, is Lincoln Riley the smartest offensive mind you've ever worked with?
He is. He's I've been around some pretty good, offensive coordinators and offensive minded guys, and just been a part of this staff for the last 6 months or so. He's definitely up there. And he's just, from a run game to a protection game to a passing game, obviously he knows and understands the whole offense. And it's very rare that a coordinator kind of, understands the run game, just like the offensive line coach or the tight ends, so he's smart. He's very intelligent. And the best thing he listens to his coaches around him. And, he lets his players, lets the athletes be athletes, and he finds ways to get those guys the ball and space and things of that nature. But he's definitely one of the best for sure.
How much did that Texas game change your season?
How much did it change my season?
No, the Oklahoma season.
Well, it didn't change. It changed ours for the better. Right. we won the game. So
no, I mean, you coming into the game kind of struggling a little bit, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a big game no matter what. I mean, we could both be 0-10, but when that game happens, head-to-head is going to be a great game. It's a storied rivalry. A lot of respect for those guys. But, yeah, it was fun, being on the other side of it, the winning side. But it was the longest game I've ever been a part of, the craziest game by far, but it was neat. And, very great to be a part of that game. And you can look back from years and just continue to talk about it. But it was awesome.
Did you get to watch the Notre Dame Clemson game last night?
I did. I watched that last night. It was good, man. It was good. It was a good game. It's crazy. College football is nuts.
Yeah, it was really cool. I actually fell asleep. I don't know. I don't even know how they tied the game. And then I woke up in overtime and saw the last few plays. But
it just, I mean, I was. It's sort of. I'm an ACC guy, right? And I mean, you are too, Adam. I guess even though you should have played.
Yeah, which is why I'm not rooting for Notre Dame because screw them being in the ACC.
Right. I don't want Notre Dame to win the ACC when they come in on a rental and they get to play Clemson without Trevor Lawrence. That's BS. Like, what are we doing here? It's ridiculous.
This doesn't seem fair.
I'm sure they'll see each other again in the championship game. So
yeah. I guess that they could definitely play in the championship game, right?
Yeah, they will.
They're doing it.
At this point, they will, unless Lawrence misses more time or something, they will probably play in the championship game. All right, the Cowboys here, 3-0 the score, coming up to the end of the first quarter. So DeMarco, not a bad start to the game, not bad.
Not at all. You know, just gotta take it one quarter at a time, win one. So they got 1-3 to go.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Derrick Henry. You were on Tennessee during his rookie year, and I've never seen a running back like Derrick Henry. Talk to me about what you see from him.
Yeah, he's doing really good. He's talking about a guy who really developed from year 1 to 4. Dramatic jumps, from his first year in the league till, his 3rd to 4th year. I mean, he really worked hard on his game. He was very diligent about the game. A guy who obviously works hard in the weight room, but works hard on the field. But guy that size, big, strong, powerful guy, man. He's running well. Team is looking good. So, I mean, congrats to, John Robinson and Art. I don't know the head coach. I wasn't there when he was there, but heard a lot of great things about him. But glad they're winning. I love Tennessee, love being a part of that squad and just the city itself. I mean, Nashville is awesome. What
did he have to work on as he came into the league?
I just think just understanding the scheme, footwork, and blocking. He can run the ball, right? Runners are going to run the ball, but I think you have to be better at just screens and catching the ball and really just getting north and south. I mean, he's a guy that, with that power and that speed, when he stops his feet, he becomes average. But when he's going, it's not a lot of people that's going to want to get in front of him. So I think he kind of, started realizing that, hey, don't stop my feet. Let me just, get north and south and get behind my pads. And he's a physical runner, and obviously the stiff form is damn good.
Yeah, he says, what's the one thing you feel like when you get, in your experience as a coach, like what's the one thing that you have to get younger running backs to focus on to get them to improve? Is it footwork?
Number one thing is patience. That's it. If they all have patience, I mean, that's the number one thing for a runner. Especially
they all want to bounce it outside quick too, right?
Yeah, you can't do that here.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
Your rookie season, we had the lockout. How difficult was that? And it's, obviously we can draw some parallels to this year and what rookies might be going through, what might have gone through a few months ago with COVID and just not having a training camp, not even rookie camps, all that stuff. They had a training camp, but no preseason. How difficult was that? What kind of a challenge was that for you with a different kind of off season during your rookie year?
Yeah, it was, obviously missing OTAs, mini camp, things of that nature. It was new, but I was able to get the playbook and things of that nature. And I knew Miles Austin before I got drafted there. So training with him and training with guys of that nature just kind of, obviously it's not the same as being out there with your coaches and getting the physical reps, but it's not easy. But, as a pro, you can't make excuses. You can't, everybody's going through it. It's not just one team or one player or one coach. You got to find ways to get better every single day. You got to find ways to, speed the process up and maneuver, So if it throws you a curveball, you got to hit the thing out of the park.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on today. It was really awesome talking to you, and good luck to your Dallas Cowboys.
Definitely. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Boomer Sooner. See you, man.
Thanks.
What a suck up you are, Will.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner. No, I always want to say.
Why did you? Hey, Sam Bradford or Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray? I rank them,
dude. But look at. He's I guess he's from Nevada, but he went to Oklahoma, then played in. I know Texas and Oklahoma are the same thing, but close proximity. Played for the Cowboys, and now he's back coaching for Oklahoma. He's a pretty big Oklahoma guy, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was a good call to say Boomer Sooner. 3-0, by the way. Should have taken the under on the Steelers 31 or whatever. We'll see what happens.
30.5, yes.
30.5. Dallas going out to punt now to start the second half. What an exciting.
This is sort of like a hallmark of Mike Tomlin teams, though.
What, losing a game you're supposed to win?
He's never had a losing season. I get it. I'm not trying to rip Tomlin because I think he's a great coach, but every year, man, they have a game where they're an 8, 9, 10-point favorite against a bad team, and they just go out and lay an egg. It just always happens.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine today.
I think they will be too. I'm just telling you it happened. Like they managed to do that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, look at it.
All right, yeah, let's see. Tua's moving the ball right now. I have no idea what's going on in the Raiders-Chargers game. I know Kalen Ballage scored a touchdown.
It's 7-all.
Well, that I know, but I don't really know like what's
the Raiders have the ball.
Yeah, I'm watching. I know that Kalen Ballage and Devontae Booker have touchdowns in that game. Is there anything else I need to know? That how disappointing is that? My goodness.
Yeah, that's a dagger for fantasy owners. Justin Jackson injured, obviously.
You know what's a real dagger is like the Ravens offense is just it's fantasy poison. Fantasy poison. Chase Claypool getting loose here. Josh Jacobs has 3 carries for 21 yards.
Not pleased by the Dolphins moving the ball effectively.
Man, what does it say about Josh Kelly that he's getting outsnapped by Kalen Ballage, or at least out?
Ballage says bad things.
It says bad things, dude. That is bad. So did Justin Jackson not suit up?
I saw questionable return. I haven't seen an update.
Okay, but he started the game or what?
Can you monologue for like 30 seconds while
I can. You are watching the home team watch party presented by Lowe's. Adam Aizer and Will Brinson here. Bryant, McFadden, Dave Dameshek, they are going to join us later in the show. Nando DeFino is going to join us as well. We're watching the Steelers and the Cowboys. Cowboys with an early 3-0 lead. Ben Roethlisberger spreading the ball around 1 minute into the second quarter. If you have any questions, ask right here on Twitch. Go ahead and give us your fantasy thoughts. I'll throw out a question to you. Who's your biggest fantasy winner from the early games? Your biggest fantasy winner from the early games. Tua Tagovailoa end zone throw. That is a bad throw, and it is incomplete on 1st and goal. Looking for someone who I don't know. Adam Shaheen. I know him. Meanwhile, 7-7 in the Raiders and Chargers game, and here's Roethlisberger. Oh, he aired it out 5 yards downfield to James Washington. All right, your biggest fantasy winner. Let us know what you think. I actually haven't had a chance to look at all of the stats that I'd like to look at here, but Tyreek Hill, it's nice to see him getting a lot more involved with 18 freaking targets, 9 catches, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think DJ Chark is an obvious winner. Okay, he has a 73-yard touchdown, and the Dolphins just scored on, it looks like a rushing touchdown there. I'm assuming Jordan Howard. Yes, Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard right on his season pace, 5 carries for 8 yards and a touchdown. So, yeah, I think DJ Chark, right? Like, huge win. The guy had not been having a good season, had some connection issues, it seemed, with Gardner Minshew. Don't tell me that's Josh Jacobs, right?
Friggin' Dolphins. I might cuss
jerseys.
The Dolphins.
I think Josh Jacobs scored. He did. All right. Dude, I can't read these numbers on the Raiders jerseys. They're just way too silver. Anyway, DJ Chark's a winner for me. 73-yard touchdown catch. Seems to have a decent connection with Jake Luton. And that's a winner. Let's see what the people are saying. Your biggest winners. Antonio Gibson. I'm going to say how can Antonio Gibson be a winner? What do you have, 25 yards and a touchdown or something like that? Come on, Hurt Boa. I was low on Antonio Gibson this week. Giants run defense. Make it 6 games in a row.
Giants defense might be good.
Their run defense in particular. 6 games in a row. No running back has a carry of 15 yards.
Josh Jacobs just destroyed somebody.
Yeah, that was a beautiful run. It was a beautiful run. Dude, listen, the Giants play the Eagles next week. If they win that game, by the way, J.D. McKissick had 25 more snaps than Antonio Gibson.
Are the Giants going to win the division?
No, I don't think so. I think they got some tough games coming up. I have to look at their schedule. But if they beat the Eagles next week, then you can't rule it out. They seem to have a good coaching staff. I think their coaching staff looks pretty legit.
I think Joe Judge is a good coach.
They've got, unfortunately, this is the Giants' schedule. Philadelphia, Cincinnati, they could win those. Seattle, Arizona, no chance. Cleveland, probably not. Baltimore, probably not. Dallas. So I think the best they could do is 3-4 rest of season. Joe Judge, yeah, he looks good. Patrick Graham is their defensive coordinator. He's doing, a brilliant job. Josh Allen as an early winner. Will, do you think this was Josh Allen's great again, or he played the Seahawks?
A bit of both. Like I said, I mean, Josh Allen's definitely an early winner. they didn't use his legs a ton. They didn't try to run the ball very much. They just let him pass. And I think that's important, but I don't think that's going to work against every team. I just think Josh Allen's good. And there was just some regression coming after his first 4 games. Like he wasn't going to play like that over the full course of the season, but clearly he has these high ceiling games where he can just go off. And it happened against a really bad pass defense with a really good game plan from Buffalo. And they picked up a monster win. They look like they're just in control of that division.
By the way, what happened to Josh Jacobs? I thought he had a touchdown. Did it get called back?
It was called back.
Okay.
Oh, no. Touchdown. They're reviewing it. It upheld.
Oh, okay. All right, good. So that'll update soon. We got to vote for Brandon Cooks as a winner. Hard to disagree with that. The stack, I had a Ravens stack, and I also had both Texans wide receivers. I think I probably would have done a lot better if I just gone with Deshaun Watson. Yeah. 28 points for him.
I might need to just quit playing DFS. I love it, but I don't know that I'm good at it.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm pretty good at cash games. I'm not really a tournament guy. There's a lot that goes into that, and I just I'm not making 50 lineups or anything like that, but I can pick a decent roster of players who are going to do well. Will Fuller, 100 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Cooks had 4 more targets, and he had 83 yards and a touchdown. So those guys are just must starts. And
I think I'm just tired of the person who is winning this tournament. I had the same quarterback stack as them, but I just didn't put the right pieces around it.
You had a Lamar Jackson stack? It is a different team.
Drew Lock and Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, Jerry Jeudy definitely got a vote for a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me take a look at the final box score there. He definitely led them in receiving by a long shot.
I went with Julio instead of Metcalf.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry instead of Dalvin Cook.
An oddly quiet game for Julio, but he did score 5 catches, 54 yards and a touchdown. Kyler Murray. That looks like Hopkins. Is that his first catch? That's Larry Fitzgerald. Never mind. Jerry Jeudy, 14 targets, 7 catches, 125 yards and a touchdown. KJ Hamler had a big game. And Tim Patrick, he did have 9 targets, but he bailed you out with a late touchdown there. All right, yeah, I can buy Jerry Jeudy as a winner. Maybe this is the beginning of a beautiful second half. CBS needs a DFS podcast. It might happen. Don't be surprised if it happens at some point.
Who would be on it?
Not me.
All right, well, we have a DFS podcast. I do one every week.
Okay, a dedicated DFS podcast.
Every week, the Pick Six podcast, we do a DFS week with me and Heath Cummings and Frank Stanfield.
Dude, the Cowboys defense, man. Look at that. They gave it to Snell, I believe, on 4th and 1, and he did not get it.
Are you sure? The replays look like he might have gotten it. I think he
got it. Well, the Cowboys were partying in the streets. That's all I know.
Did he get across? It's close.
You fixed your antenna?
No, he's short. Yeah, he's short. Yeah, I fixed my antenna.
Good. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is definitely a loser, man. Definitely.
That fumble. By the way, can we talk about that hose job by the refs on that interception?
Oh, Marcus Peters?
Yeah, where Harbaugh challenged it and said he had possession. They overturned it.
So they ruled it an interception and then a fumble that was recovered by the Ravens.
Yes.
That's incredible. I heard
flipped the game.
I don't know if you were listening to it at the time, but I heard the explanation from the rules expert. Like he got it through he got like 3 feet down basically, and that was considered a football move. Pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
You know, nobody did. Nobody did. Yeah. Mahesh wants to talk about the Giants defense. It is pretty interesting. McLaurin, by the way, got, I wouldn't say lucky, but a little lucky. He had like 50-yard yak on a touchdown catch.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something to watch going forward, not necessarily for McLaurin, but for James. Like they're allowing James Bradbury to shadow people. Yeah,
he wasn't shadowing him on that particular play, but he did see him a lot. But he got
a lot of coverage on. That's my point. Is like we don't think about the Giants as a tough matchup, but I think it's something to watch for number 1 receivers who are going to get a lot of James Bradbury, who's playing really well.
He is playing well, and I think they seem to be a team that lets you dump it off a lot. And you're seeing they give up a ton of production to receiving running backs. J.D. McKissick, no different today. I think he had 9 catches. So they let you do that. Miles Sanders should be back next week. He and Boston Scott could both get a lot of catches. So there's that. I also think the Alex Smith thing, the bad injury for Kyle Allen, disappointing to see. I don't think it's good for Terry McLaurin. I don't know if it's bad, but Alex Smith was so conservative. I mean, everything underneath. And then the long touchdown pass to Terry McLaurin was largely yards after catch and 2 broken tackles. So, yeah, I mean, Alex Smith is just going to dink and dunk, and that could be really good for J.D. McKissic and not as good for Terry McLaurin. We will see. We are going to get Dave Dameshek on in about 20 minutes. This game is not super exciting from a fantasy standpoint, but let's see what the Cowboys can do with this field position. They're at the Steelers' 39-yard line with 1st and 10. Good for them. Tony Pollard gets the carry. Take a look at the updated stats in this game and see the backfield split so far, Will, between Zeke and Tony Pollard. Dolphins with a 14-7 lead. Raiders with a 14-7 lead. Tony Pollard has 2 carries for 19 yards, and Ezekiel Elliott has 5 carries for 10 yards, and Pollard has 1 catch. Garrett Gilbert has thrown for 49 yards. Ben Roethlisberger for 36 yards. And, yeah, it's a fantasy dud so far. It'll pick up a little bit. How was your weekend
so far?
Well, I'm sorry about the Hurricanes. I shouldn't have done that. That was me.
What? What? Your team beat my team. I don't care.
De'Ara King's pretty good.
He's real good. Glad you guys got a quarterback. You guys are Virginia Tech is favored over you guys in Blacksburg next week.
Get the hell out of here.
I too.
I wish I had seen the end of the Liberty Virginia Tech game. Did you see it? I know what happened.
No, I was watching on a giant outdoor television. Oh no, wait, Liberty was on Saturday.
Yeah.
But did Virginia Tech win?
So Liberty goes for a game-winning 53-yard field goal. It gets blocked, returned for a touchdown to win for Virginia Tech. They called timeout, though, iced the kicker. And, of course, Liberty gets a second chance and wins the game on a game-winning field goal.
Oh, my God. I didn't see that. I think that was happening at around 6 o'clock, right?
Yep.
I had just gotten home. My wife was mad at me. And so
what'd you do, dude?
She wanted me home.
Like Jonathan Taylor?
I didn't get sort of, yeah. Maybe she could say I didn't get home fast enough, I think was the problem.
Where were you?
I went to the store, then went by a buddy's house and was watching some football on his deck and got back a little later than she wanted and she was miffed.
All right.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, man. You know what? Yesterday was just a beautiful day. It was like if you live in a cold weather place.
It was 75 degrees and sunny here. It
was like 68 up here in New York, and it was like you're running out of these Saturdays.
Yeah, I mean, watching football on a deck with a couple cold beers was just sort of something I needed to do. Now, again, I probably should have left 30 minutes earlier, but what are you going to do?
30 minutes is no big deal. Yeah. Yesterday, I called it Human Day because we were going to go out and act like humans, see humans. We hadn't done enough of that the last 9 months, so it was fun.
How'd it go for you?
It was fun, man. It was great. We saw my in-laws, they have a big family. We saw a lot of people, and we just had a good time. Oh, Christian Kirk, that's like a 65-yard touchdown. Damn. Kyler Murray is a really interesting.
Yards.
How much?
56.
56. All right.
Is it good to have the under in this game? Doesn't feel like it. Maybe they won't. Oh, Cowboys!
Dude, CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, touchdown. The Cowboys are just winning this game.
CeeDee Lamb on my bench. Can't blame me. But the Cowboys up 9-0. Well, this is going to put a wrench in the Giants going to win the division plan.
This is incredible. Garrett Gilbert, 6 of 9, 85 yards and a touchdown.
Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Football's weird. All right, well, who wins this game? Cowboys or Steelers?
I would still probably take the Steelers, but it's not looking great. I want to see what the Steelers are live.
That Watt covering Lamb, and he just kind of stopped covering him. A lot of fans there, by the way.
Where's this? My live options are not showing up, and that's quite frustrating.
How about them Cowboys? Dameshek, by the way, a big Steelers fan. He's going to be in a pretty ornery mood when he comes out in a little bit.
He'll be miffed. The thing is, you can pass on the Steelers.
I don't know how. I don't know why, and I don't know how to pass on them.
You have to avoid pressure.
Well, but they have the same secondary that they had last year. You shouldn't be able to pass on them this much. They are not playing as well, and they have the best pass rush in football.
Yeah, their pass rush is good. Their we think they're good against the run, but
they are.
Like, I don't know if they are with Devin Bush out. Baltimore ran all over them.
Baltimore did. Yeah, Baltimore did. Right. Who did I say? I said Buffalo. They've played 2 games without Bush, I think. One they were really good, one they were really bad. You're not going to be able to make a big judgment out of how they do today.
I don't know. We might see a lot of Zeke here.
Well, look, if Zeke has a good game, I think it'd be a red flag for the Steelers' run defense. If he has a bad game, I'm going to be like, they face the Cowboys with no offensive line. That is honestly how I feel about Ezekiel Elliott right now. This is a big flip from where I was 2 weeks ago when we talked about when he got hurt, right? Or when, was it when Dak went out? Or I guess it was 3 weeks ago when Jamey was on, right? And I was like, nah, Zeke's not that bad. I'm really nervous about him.
I'm real nervous about Zeke.
He has to catch the ball. Like, that's the thing. He has to do it in the passing game or he's in trouble.
I mean, he's not. I think I don't know. He's good, but is he great now?
Oh, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to be the guy who's like, Zeke isn't that good. So I'm not going to say that. But I just know he's not making explosive plays. That's all I know. Let's check in on the Chargers and the Raiders here. 14.
Keenan Allen is a target monster.
Yeah, he is. Josh Kelly. I think that's Josh Kelly. It might be Kalen Ballage for all I know.
It's Josh Kelly.
Josh Kelly. Justin Herbert, 9 of 15 for 105 yards. Derek Carr, only 37 yards. They are running the ball very effectively against the Chargers, who have just a horrible defense this year.
Yeah. Well, the Chargers can't stay healthy, and they're missing Joey Bosa and Derwin James. I mean, those are 2 Pro Bowl caliber or all pro caliber defensive players.
15 passes for Herbert, and like Will said, target hog. Keenan Allen has 7 targets, half the targets. Mike Williams has 1 catch. Hunter Henry, he's been frustrating for fantasy managers. He has 2 catches for 21 yards. This is the home team watch party presented by Lowe's, and the Dallas Cowboys have a 10-0 lead on the Pittsburgh Steelers. We did not see that. That's exciting. I hope we get some drama today. And here comes Tua. I really want to watch Tua. Do you think there's any chance the Dolphins draft a quarterback next year?
No.
Oh, Tua! Nice throw. Down at the 40-yard line. Flag on the play. He's it was a nice throw. Quite accurate throw there.
You have one TV that's like the fastest thing on the planet. Like it's ahead of the NFL stat feed.
Is it really? Well,
yeah.
That's gonna be
like I just posted Tua pass deep left to Preston Williams.
35 yards.
Like my HD antenna is like 1 second. Is like, and that's as fast as you can get normally. It's 1 second ahead or 1 second behind this stat feed. And you're like 30 seconds ahead of the stat feed. I like, where is this feed coming from?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
like that's pretty crazy that it's faster than the NFL stat feed.
Is it though? I mean, why would the NFL?
Yes. They're at the game.
But it takes a while to like input stats, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, look, this thing's usually fast.
Yes. I don't know, man.
All right, tell me what happens on the next play for the Dolphins.
I'm on the Chargers right now.
Oh, so that's your red zone channel.
That's my red zone. Yeah.
That is wild. Oh, like mine just popped up with that Tua throw.
Chargers are almost at halftime and got nothing here from Justin Herbert. Oh, 121 yards isn't that bad, but they're at the 28-yard line. Maybe we should be paying more attention to this Dallas Cowboys upset in the making. Stop running the ball. You're so boring, Chargers. James Conner with the carry here. The Steelers have to be able to run the ball better. That's like they should be dominating on the ground. James Conner has 4 carries for 14 yards, or maybe now it's 5 for 15, something like that. 5 for 20. Oh, that was not a 16-yard run. I think I'm a little behind on the stats. Will, how's your fantasy day going?
Pretty bad. My dad is texting me complaining that Will Fuller, quote unquote, went nuts in our matchup. And he has like Terry McLaurin who scored more points than Will Fuller. And like
touchdown Keenan Allen, by the way. And Ben Roethlisberger is frustrated. Keenan Allen was wide open for a touchdown. We're going to be tied at 14 there. That could be a fun game. We got to keep our eye on the Chargers and the Raiders. But this one, man, bad throw behind Deontay Johnson. Ben's all out of sorts.
That's a terrible throw by Ben.
You know, if you
Ben hasn't been great this year.
Well, he's been different. He's not turning the ball over, but he's not throwing the ball downfield, and he's got an undefeated team. So
yeah, I mean, he's been a game manager.
Like 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's good. 3 of those interceptions, by the way, were in week 7.
But the Cowboys tried to run a trick. Oh, they did run a trick. Oh my God, the Cowboys are gonna score. That's no fun. Oh,
he got tackled. He got tackled.
Oh, he didn't jump over. That's coming back for holding anyway.
Okay, flag on the play.
It's gonna bring it back 15 yards. It was at the end there. Those guys are like, "Are you kidding me? What a trick! What a play!"
The Dolphins running a little bit of a trick play there. Did not work.
Oh my God, how are they not going to guard Keenan Allen on that play? That's terrible.
So Ben Roethlisberger was started in 57% of CBS leagues.
It's 57% too many.
Most quarterbacks do not throw for 200 yards against the Cowboys because they don't throw the ball much. But this is actually setting up to be pretty good for you if you started Ben Roethlisberger. So, good luck to you. Godspeed. 2 games tied at 14, and this shocking game so far, the Pittsburgh Steelers trailing 10-0. Cowboys getting the ball.
I want to know what the live number is on this Cowboys game.
How do you not know? This is all the only thing you talk about typically.
Well, my live betting thing isn't working.
That's a problem.
Yeah, I'm still looking on sportsbook.com to see what they have. It's not hadn't popped up yet. I guess I'll wait to see what the penalty is.
Here's a good question from King Carl's. Do you think Mark Andrews will be a top 12 tight end rest of season?
Yes.
Yeah, I do, but let's see who we would take ahead of him. There are 3. No, well, now Kittle's out, so there are 2 obvious ones, I'd say. Ezekiel Elliott gets the carry. They still have great field position here, inside the 30. The 2 obvious ones are Kelsey and Waller. And then after that, tight end's really bad. Like, are you taking Gronkowski over him?
I would definitely take Mark Andrews over Gronk, I think.
You would? Have you noticed how bad Mark Andrews has been?
Maybe not. Let me look and see how bad Mark Andrews is.
He's caught some touchdowns, but let me tell you what he was on pace for. Going into today's game, he was on pace for 53 yards, 53 catches, 629 yards, and of course, 11 touchdowns on 89 targets. And today he had another quiet game. I don't remember the stat, but it was like 30 yards or something like that for Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, this is the case last year. He doesn't play like 100% of the snaps. Like he's sort of a 3/4 player in terms of like his time on the field. So he has to be really efficient with it. And Lamar hasn't been a very good passer for much of the season, so that probably factors into it.
Yeah, they run the ball a ton, and they're one of the, I don't want to use the word worst passing offenses, but least productive passing offenses. Just
sure, they stink right now. It's terrible.
There is that, but also they're never going to throw the ball like a ton. They just, they're going to be like I don't know, if you're lucky, like a 3,500 yard passing team. They're not going to do what they did last year in terms of efficiency. So the problem is there's just so many tight ends. You're going to take Jonnu Smith over him. He had another quiet game. He did catch a touchdown. You're going to take Dallas Goedert over him? Maybe. Dallas Goedert was remarkably unproductive last week. But it's
when's Ertz is out 4 to 6?
Yeah, Ertz, let's say another 3 weeks, maybe. Oh, Tua, touchdown, Dolphins, Preston Williams. Look at the Miami Dolphins. I really thought the Cardinals were going to blast them.
I did too. All right, so Kittle's on IR. Oh boy, maybe is he a top? Kelsey.
Like, there's no way.
Bob, I would take TJ Hawkinson over Andrews.
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to.
There's probably Hayden Hurst. Maybe Hayden Hurst.
You got a case for Austin Hooper. Hooper was like 5 for 50, 3 games in a row or something like that before his injury.
Would you take if Noah Fant's healthy? Would you take Noah Fant?
See, I think that's a PPR versus non-PPR thing because I think Fant's gonna have a lot of trouble with touchdowns.
What about Jimmy Graham?
No.
Jimmy Graham's actually a top 12 tight end so far this year, I think.
He was among the leaders in catches.
The position is so bad that it's just a problem.
But you know what I noticed today?
I would take over Andrews. That's like out there in some leagues is Evan Ingram. He's starting to come on a little bit.
They throw to him a ton. He had 2 drops today. One of them almost led to an interception.
He makes drops.
He does. He does make jobs. One thing I noticed, though, I'm gonna just confirm this about the tight end position is I think there were only 2 tight ends that were rostered, that were started in more than 90% of leagues. Kelce and Waller.
Oh my God, the Raiders fumbled the ball with like 12 seconds left.
Yeah, the Chargers got a field goal out of it.
That is terrible. How do you do that?
Who fumbled? Carr?
Got sacked by Jerry Tillery.
So Kelce is 100% started. Waller is 94% started. The next highest start percentage looks like it is Andrews at 78%.
It's a bad tight end's bad, man.
So what? Yeah, like Hunter Henry 71%, Gronkowski 75, Hawkinson 76. But I think what you're going to see is a lot of fantasy managers have 2 tight ends, and they're going to play the matchups. And I don't know if Andrews is a matchup. Like, it's not matchups. It's not like, oh, Mark Andrews has a bad matchup. I don't think that matters. It's just, what kind of opportunity is there going to be? Is he going to score? I think you can pretty much eliminate a lot of yards most weeks for Mark Andrews. If you get 50, that's a good thing. You just expect him to score a ton of touchdowns. And when it doesn't happen, you're left with some really bad games.
And I've got a team. This is the most unlucky fantasy team. Had Barkley, Odell, and Kenyon Drake as early round picks. So that's not going well. And like I managed to cobble together a lineup that put up 109 points. It's a very standard scoring league. My opponent put up a 173 on me.
Oh,
I mean, Dalvin Cook and Aaron Rodgers. Like, what are we doing here? And Kelce.
it's amazing.
Christian Carr. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, let's talk about the game that Travis Kelce had. How does a tight end do this? I mean, I just want to make sure I get the stats. You have them in front of you?
156 receiving yards, I believe.
That's insane.
So this team in this league, right? What week is this? Week 9?
Yeah.
This team has my team has quote unquote allowed 1,150 points scored against me so far this year. That is an insane number.
That's a lot. You've given up the most points in the league?
Yes, by like 200 points. People are averaging 127 points against me per week.
Let's talk about that's pretty bad. Let's talk about some ethics here.
Okay.
Did you see the replay of the gadget punt return play? They just showed a replay, right? So what happened? The guy in the Cowboys fields the punt, throws all the way across the field.
Yeah. Right. What's the ethics?
The dude who received the throw pretended to have a hamstring injury while the ball was in flight. He's running down the field, like grabbing his head, like, oh, I'm hurt. Didn't even have to do it because nobody was near him. And then when his teammate caught the punt, he like darts to get behind him so he can field the lateral. That's
part of the sell. That's not unethical.
Ethically questionable. That's cheap.
No way. I have an ethical question though.
Okay, I feel like we're gonna disagree.
No, we might. No. That's just part of the sell. That's on the Steelers.
You can't fake an injury. That's bad.
Okay, so last night in my family league, which is for no money, I picked up DJ Dallas to replace Chris Carson in my starting lineup.
Okay.
And I'm playing my own father. I forgot to make the swap. I did, but it didn't like lock for whatever reason.
Sure.
Do you think that I'm the commissioner of this league, so I can in theory make the swap myself?
No chance, bro.
If I texted you and was like, hey, this happened, would you let me make the swap afterwards?
What time?
Like now.
No way.
So it's just on me for actually starting.
Check your lineups.
Yeah.
There's nobody who's going to take your side on this. And I'm the most lenient commissioner too.
Okay. I don't even want to bother texting my dad because I don't want to make him say no. That feels cruel. That feels like an awkward situation. And I certainly don't want to just make the swap.
By the way, Ben Strager telling me that Travis Kelce, in addition to having 159 yards, he had a 36-yard catch nullified because of offsides.
That is correct. Yeah, at the end of the game. Except
Ben Strager doesn't use he doesn't put, Justin Jackson return. Thank you, Ben Strager. He abbreviates everything. He's a serial abbreviator. He had a 36-yard catch nulled because of offsides. It's not that many.
Why didn't he just write nullified?
I don't know. What did he do earlier that bothered? Oh, Crowd expected to play instead of Crowder. Literally 2 letters. He couldn't write Crowder. Crowd.
Dumbest abbreviations I've ever heard in my life. What is happening?
You got to work on that, Trager.
Wait, why would he nullify crowd? Like why wouldn't you just write like Crowder EX to play? Like at least like be efficient with it. Crowd?
It would be Crow EXPLY. Like that should just like do that.
Yeah. Or Crowder will play.
That would work too. So before we get our next guest on, I had we'll come back to it. So I had something that I've just completely forgotten right now. Is Kyler Murray going to throw the ball to everyone in the stadium before targeting DeAndre Hopkins? That is a great question. Let's check the stats on that game. As Chase Edmonds gets loose. Kyler Murray has thrown 10 passes for 131 yards with 2 touchdowns. And DeAndre Hopkins does not have a target. That is amazing. Oh, Jamey's here.
What?
I didn't know that. No, I know what I was going to ask. Will, you said your boys with
Check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Dameshek? Okay, good. So I'll let you just run the interview. I might just go eat some leftover Chinese food last night.
I could do some Chinese food. What should I do for supper?
Dude, it was human day yesterday. I just felt like myself. Got some Chinese food. Love that stuff. So what's your Chinese food go to?
We don't do a lot of Chinese food here because my wife just doesn't really love it.
No, I was, oh my God, in Kyler Murray. He's amazing.
Oh yeah, he is. But I mean, like if I'm ordering it, like I'll either do like a beef and broccoli or a General Tso's.
Okay, yeah, I'm a sesame chicken guy. Jamey, you there or what?
Sesame chicken works.
All right. I did not know Jamey was coming on today. This is a nice. Oh, there it is, right in the rundown. Trager probably wrote like jam coming on at 5. What he was talking about. All right.
Who's Beth? Is that Shaq?
Yeah, that's
who it is. What's happening, fellas? How are you? Let me get
buddy?
a video going for you.
What's going on, pal?
Oh, nothing special. Just watching some pro football. That's always it's exciting so far, right? What's to not love about watching the Steelers down 13?
Dude, I didn't even realize it was 13. I lost in my own world. I thought it was 10-0. Dave Dameshek, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot. Gilbert Garrett's really sticking it to us so far. Ooh, did we get a PI on that one? To Chase Claypool? No dice. Steelers over match.
Should have been a PI.
Hey, Jamey, what's up, man?
What's up, fellas?
Jay, we got a full house here on the home team watch party presented by Lowe. That should have been a pass interference call. Maybe it was uncatchable. I don't know. Dave, welcome. Thanks for coming on. Do you think the Steelers are going to pull it out?
I think they will pull it out, but even that kind of goes against Coach Tomlin's history here. If anybody is surprised, and I'm not doing this with 2020 hindsight. I say this all the time. We talked about it all week long. This is Tomlin's kryptonite and has been for a decade and a half now. There's Roethlisberger down on the ground. That's the nightmare scenario. We saw Mason Rudolph and Duck last year. That's the one thing we can't have here. This is, he took some shots there too, right on the elbow even. This is the plague for Coach Tomlin. His kryptonite is playing bad teams on the road. So no big surprise, at least.
So do you think Ben is faking it right now? Because doesn't he kind of ham it up?
He does need to get injured before he can play well. Like that is like Ben does like to pretend he's hurt before he starts balling out.
I mean, some legitimate limping going on there.
Yeah, there was some limping for sure. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Jamey Eisenberg, my friend, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just watching football.
Yeah. What are your thoughts so far on the fantasy day?
My thoughts on the fantasy day. Josh Allen's back.
Is he? Or was he Seahawks? Was it Seahawks or was it Allen?
Both.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the consensus that we came to here. Dave, how about you? You got any big fantasy takeaways from the early portion of the day?
Well, I've been riding with Kyler all season long here, and obviously that's led to a nice fantasy season for my team. Roethlisberger, there's a strike from him. First one post injury. To Brinson's point, this is what he needs. You see, it doesn't get going. Popeye has his spinach. Seven has his dings, his bumps and bruises. This is what he needs to supercharge it.
It is like it's if whatever the opposite of kryptonite. Like it's his. What is the opposite of kryptonite?
Is there one? Oh, it's that thing that Superman.
He's just dealing. Like Big Ben slinging the ball all of a sudden now that he faked an injury.
Let's just say he has let's just say it's the aggro crag. You remember that, Will? The aggro crag? That's the opposite of kryptonite.
Okay.
I was trying to think of what it was. It's that thing in Superman 2. You guys are, most of you are at least probably too young to even remember Superman
the big
2.
triangle, like the saran wrap that they throw the bad guys in?
Zod and company. No, it's when Superman gets into this glass thing up at his frozen palace, and then he loses all his powers in exchange for the love of Lois Lane. But then he realizes he has to save the planet, so he goes back in and he learns how to reverse it. So that's kind of what Roethlisberger is doing right now. When he gets hurt, he goes into that glass thing in his brain, and he suddenly reemerges as Superman.
So the Steelers on the live line, I just found it, are minus 238. That is wild. I mean, they're getting their. I realize that they're in the red zone, so that's a little different. But I would have liked to have gotten something in the 150 range for my.
Pretty surprising, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Roethlisberger here. I'm going to be ahead of everybody, but you're about to be very happy, Dave. Very happy. Give us a celebration.
Don't you dare spoil this for me. If you're teasing me, I'm going to be very upset with you. I'll never forgive you.
Oh, that would be fun. That could be a fun game.
We can start doing that on these things because we're always ahead of the guest.
I'm always ahead. Yeah.
The negative, like, well, Ben's dead. He died on the field. I don't know what to tell you.
The Big 12 zone. There he is. Look at that. James Washington with the touchdown.
Ben's faking a limp after every single throw, too. He's like,
Well, now you know that he's back. He's back to old Ben.
Yeah, man. He needs to be hurt. Mahesh wants to know what our takes on Ronald Jones and Jonathan Taylor are rest of season. You know what? We'll save Ronald Jones. He's playing tonight. Dave, Jonathan Taylor had 5 carries. Then he fumbled. Ben Roethlisberger's limping into the tunnel. Sorry. But Jonathan Taylor fumbled. He got 1 carry rest of game. Doghouse alert. What do you think about him going forward?
Man, I'll tell you, I feel like I've made a major mistake here based on the very early returns here. 2 weeks ago, back in August, I predicted that the Colts would take the division. Titans came out looking great, obviously, for the first several weeks there. And Phil Rivers looked very old. He really did look old and hard to defend. But I felt like, and continue to feel like, they're still a little bit underrated in the AFC, and that defense is mighty. And I thought that the second half push offensively for the Colts could be led by the 2 rookies. If Pittman would rise up, 1, that's exactly the type of receiver that Rivers needs to thrive. And 2, if Jonathan Taylor could do it. But that fumble, that's what happens. They put the young guys. It is a weird phenomenon. I always say if you fell into a coma in about 1998 and you just woke up from it and said, what looks different to you about pro football now versus then? I think in the top 3 would be that the Peanut Tillman effect of just every pro defender in the 21st century, just all they do is rip at the ball, all they do. And it's shocking clearly to rookies and young runners when they get the ball. It clearly, there is nothing apparently that the coaches can do to ready them for that, because the thing that happens is, how many guys do you call? How many young guys are like, boy, this guy's fumble prone? Or is it that Marlon Humphrey on down have mastered the Peanut Tillman effect and all know how to strike at that ball and punch it out? The turnovers are everything in 21st century defensive football versus when people still pine for those days of like, let's smother the other team and keep them to 9 points a game. That just doesn't exist anymore in the NFL.
Well, it's like I don't think it's like the same as like the 3-point revolution in basketball or anything, but I do think you're like to the point, like guys are less worried about a tackle and more worried about a turnover. And I think that, that matters.
Right.
Before it was like, head down, wrap up, like you wanted like a great form tackler. Now you want somebody who makes plays.
It's kind of an interesting question. Let's put it to our Twitch audience here. If you have not watched football in 20 years, what would be the biggest difference that you would notice from, well, you said 1998, so we'll give you a 22-year coma. You just woke up, you're watching football. What's the biggest difference? For me, it's not to say there weren't mobile quarterbacks in the 90s, but, watching Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. Yeah, that's probably the low-hanging fruit. But what do you guys think?
Did he just leave?
No, I know he was having some connection issues earlier, so I think it probably cut out. Hopefully, he comes back on.
It's about actually, Adam. A good way to look at it is about the last time the poster hanging over your right shoulder there. The last time that show was good.
Yes,
you dated back. My favorite show of all time, my favorite comedy of all time, no doubt. But it kind of checked out right around.
That was it. That was season 8, I think, or maybe 9. That was the last time it was like really good.
Whoa, that can't be right.
Well, no, like you go back in time and watch season 11, 12. When they came out, they were very funny episodes. But if you watch them now, you'd realize like they're not that great. The great ones.
It's funny. I go 11. And I'll be pretty liberal about it versus some of the diehard, some of the hardcore people with it. I think like 11, 12, 13, turnover. They're going to get some points maybe before the half. If Roethlisberger is going to come out of the locker room, that's a question. This will be really interesting.
That's a very mature job by Adam and I not to spoil that for you.
Yeah. Well,
thank you. I appreciate that.
That was literally exactly what you just talked about, Dave. That's a peanut.
What are they going to do? There you go. What are they going to do though for real now? Are they going to really run Mason Rudolph out here?
Mason's running. He's literally running on the field.
I'm telling you, before this play's even run, you're going to get Willis Reed, Ben Roethlisberger limping out from the locker room with all the fanfare.
At this stage of his career, at this stage of Roethlisberger's career, how bad would the knee have to be legitimately, as I'm sure everybody on the banks of the Three Rivers is speculating and wringing their hands about right now? How bad would the knee have to be for, it's not like he's a mobile quarterback anymore. How bad would it have to be for him to be like, season-ending knee surgery? Just shoot it up every week. I'm going out there and until it falls off.
He definitely, on that first throw after we're joking. We say that Ben, fakes the injuries, mostly joking. He definitely pointed at his knee and was like.
Yeah, no, he might be really hurt. I feel kind of bad, but he has like a.
You felt bad about like trash talking me over.
I feel bad about everything, Will. I wouldn't want somebody saying that if I went to the locker room with a knee injury. So I'm sorry, Ben. I am so interested to get the rest of your Simpsons take. Why don't we wait till halftime? Let's see how the end of the half plays out here. Rudolph absolutely airing it out.
Good early returns here. Listen, he completed a pass. That's pretty tough to do coming off the bench.
Wait till you see the next pass he completed. Really showing off the arm strength on that one.
See, now this is a tease. This is the worst game. All of a sudden, 11 minutes ago, I never knew that this level of torment could exist here, and now I'm in it. I don't know if you're cracking wise with me.
When do you see this play?
I am excited to see it, or I'm worried to see it. I don't know what to expect from it. Mason Rudolph. It is a catch and Juju. Okay, and there's a flag down. All right.
That was your reaction to the batted ball.
Got popped in the air. That was
now all of a sudden can I tell you guys something?
All right, we'll stop reacting because I don't want to ruin this for you, Dave. This is
very similar to what we're doing right here. About 5-6 years ago, I was doing a show very much like this. Just sit there, hang out, watch out. It's great fun. And I appreciate you guys having me, by the way, belatedly saying thank you for that. But I was doing that, and Roethlisberger and company were playing the Rams in St. Louis. That's how long ago it was. And Roethlisberger got hurt in the first half, and I was despondent for the rest of the afternoon. And even former Pittsburgh Steeler Ike Taylor, who was seated next to me, was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, The season's over if he's hurt. What are you talking about? He's like, man, you got to get over that. You got to get by your feelings. I'm like, I'm a football fan. No, I'm not getting over it. This is
my feelings.
This is autumn. This is what I devote an entire season of on the calendar to. Of course, I'm not going to get over it. Now I'm worried sick. I can't delight in silly, fun plays like what Juju did.
You know what's weird, Adam, is that when we were doing the show with DeMarcus Lawrence, when Dak Prescott got injured.
No way.
Yeah. So like we've had this show on of like that horrible Dak injury happened, and then
I don't need that, dude. Everybody thinks I jinx their fantasy players way too much.
What if you're the quarterback killer?
I'm the quarterback.
What if this show with you on it is causing quarterbacks to suffer horrific lower body injuries?
Dave,
now we got to watch. We got to see. Like, I mean, everybody follow Burt Lawton, the head of Steelers PR here. We got to see what happens here. Well, now look, Adam just raised his hands, and I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Different game. Good. Nelson Aguilar had like a 50-yard touchdown. Yes. So yeah,
you know what is here's my special like 8th or 9th level of hell in the reflection of Adam Simpson's poster. I can kind of make out some silhouetted football players there, but I can't tell exactly what's going on.
Yeah, that would be red zone. That would be the Aguilar touchdown. On the other TV, I got the Steelers-Cowboys game on. And by the way, we got 2 seconds left in the half. Sorry to spoil this. Not that exciting. Incomplete pass, 4th and 7. Steelers are going to kick a field goal to try to make it 13-9 going into the break. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Ben Roethlisberger. And everybody's joining now to watch the game with us and to talk football with Dave Dameshek. We got Bryant McFadden coming on later, Dave. Just so you know, I'm not sure when he's popping on, but maybe
that's my guy. Love that guy. He and I anything. We'll bring up because I can't help myself but bring it up every time I kibitz with him. He of course made one of the more forgotten great plays in postseason history. It's obscured by some other big plays that happened in that same game when the Steelers beat the Colts, the mighty Colts that year. That ends. It's punctuated by. Well, everybody remembers the Bettis fumble at the goal line that gets scooped, and Nick Harper scoops it up, and Roethlisberger tackles him miraculously, and then Vanderjagt misses it. In between those two plays, Peyton gets him going down the field, and he throws one into the end zone, I think on 2nd down to Reggie Wayne, and Reggie Wayne has the ball. Would have been a great catch, but he gets both hands on the ball, and Brian McFadden somehow strips it away from him at the last second. And like I say, that one people largely have forgotten about. But I've talked to Reggie Wayne about that too. He said that was an amazing play, and it inspired me. I realized from that day forward, I spent every offseason, I ground my hands into rice during the offseason, strengthen my grip. And
I've heard of people doing that. You jam your hands into big things of rice, and you try to like make a fist and open and close to try and strengthen.
I mean, this just ain't the Steelers' day. Chris Boswell never misses field goals, and he just missed a field goal. This is
if anybody watching is trying to live bet it, this would be a good spot to get the live under.
Well, we got a penalty. It's on the Steelers. So we're going to go into the locker room with a 13-6 lead for the Dallas Cowboys. Really a huge game for the Cowboys because they put them – that'd be 3 wins for them. What's the Eagles' record? 3-4-1 or something like that? Yeah, so this gets them.
Do the Cowboys want to make the playoffs?
I don't know. I don't know what they want. I think so. Look, they're not a team that needs a quarterback, right? So they probably want to make the playoffs.
Back in under contract.
Oh, I think that's a interesting conversation to have. That I feel like we've reached in pro football now full QB saturation.
Agreed.
And it's happened pretty quickly.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Well,
everybody has a quarterback.
Everybody point of reference. Well, I mean, injuries notwithstanding, obviously, Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert or Gilbert Garrett or whatever you want to call him playing. I mean, injuries notwithstanding.
Gilbert Godfrey.
That's good. Yeah, let's go with that one. That'll only add to the humiliation when the Steelers lose this game. I feel like the touchstone for me is the 2011 draft, the one that is started with Cam Newton, and then the first dozen or so picks populated by some surefire to borderline Hall of Famers right now. Tyron Smith and J.J. Watts in that mix, and
Julio
Pat
Jones, A.J. Green.
Yeah, a lot of big names in there. And then sprinkled among them are the names Jake Locker and Christian Ponder, which is to say people were reaching, not just in the first round, but in the early portions of the first round to get their franchise QB. 5 years ago, I said, how is it possible in a world of 7 billion people, we struggle to find 32 guys who can successfully play NFL QB? You know, maybe the football gods heard me, maybe not. I will never really.
And by the way, Dave, just to add to your theory too, don't forget that in that year, the Cardinals traded for Kevin Cobb because like
that's
how desperate teams were. Like Locker, Ponder, Gabbert, and Kevin Cobb. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
We've come a long way. I mean, Case Keenum, you know, that wasn't outrageous. Case Keenum started an entire season or entire seasons. There's no one at that level at this point in the NFL. The mistake is overcommitting to a middle-class QB. The middle class of NFL QBs is healthy, too much so. It's bloated even. There are still only, 4 to 8 guys on the planet Earth that can be the difference maker in a positive way on a consistent basis for their team. But there are more than enough guys capable of being under center for a Super Bowl champ. There are a lot of those kind of guys. You just don't want to overcommit. Dak is probably closer to or probably even in the top 10 QBs in the NFL. But given the makeup of this team and what they're doing this year, if they win the division, they almost shoot themselves in the foot in a way for the long term, because it feels like as well as Dak was playing, it didn't equal consistent success this season. So in a way, wouldn't you be better off not to tag him or do something even worse long term, 40+ million annually hitting the cap, instead reboot? The sweet spot is obviously the rookie, the high end QB on his rookie deal. You could get Trevor Lawrence or, to the point that Will and I are saying, everybody has their QB or there's one in the pipeline. We have 3 first-round pedigree QBs waiting in the draft again, and this has become the norm perennially now. There's always good quarterbacks.
Well, I got 10 teams that I think need a quarterback.
Hold on, before you do that, I just want to tie a little bow onto this, on the Shek's point. He mentions the 2011 draft started, of course, with Cam Newton. Cam Newton is actually the perfect piece of evidence of quarterback saturation, because a reigning MVP, former number 1 overall pick, this offseason was unemployed for months. Like Jameis Winston had to sign a backup deal with the Saints. Like that's how many good quarterbacks we have now.
Is he good? Cam Newton?
He's better than Case Keenum, which is the standard backup, throw that guy in, Josh McCown level kind of player, Case Keenum type of player. Marcus Mariota is better than those guys too. I'm not saying that he is a franchise QB, although if something gets sideways with Derek Carr in Vegas and they roll with Marcus Mariota, get ready for Rich Gannon 2.0. That lines up too neatly for John Gruden that it would not be a stunner if you drop that guy in the second half of his career he had Alex Smith level type success in John Gruden's system.
All right, well, I got 10 teams at least that I think have to go into the NFL draft thinking about a quarterback. All right, let's see if you disagree with this. New England and the Jets.
I don't disagree with New England. I don't know that I entirely agree with the Jets. Like, I think Sam Darnold still the Steelers are going to trade for Sam Darnold, or some team like the Steelers is going to trade for Sam Darnold, and he's going to have that renaissance where they actually put weapons around him, give him some education, some coaching. Like, I don't think the Jets need a quarterback.
If the Jets get the first or second pick, I think they'll probably take a quarterback. If not,
but that's different than needing a quarterback.
Well, but okay, fine. Jets, Patriots, Colts.
But to that point, as Brinson says, the other side of that coin is, so if, let's say, the Jets did that, Sam Darnold is presumably on the street or there to be had, and you'll plug him into, presumably a better situation for him. And he would be, this is a guy who, there's no guarantee. It's a 60-40 proposition that even a guy you draft in the first round is going to end up being the franchise level QB that you want him to be, and willing to pay him whatever the going rate is for a first round draft pick QB who leads you to success in that second contract. But that will only deepen the saturation of available pro QBs.
Yeah, okay, I guess so. I mean, maybe the low end quarterbacks in the NFL are better now than they have been in the past. That's probably what you're saying.
Yeah, and I also think, I'll tell you another one, that if things break right for him, there's no doubt that Kyle Shanahan knows that the flaw in his team is Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, that the wrinkle is they're middle class QBs who can get you to a Super Bowl, and if things break right, you can win the Super Bowl. But the sort of the guy, the martyr, I mean the very rich martyr, is Joe Flacco. He did exactly what we're describing here. He caught fire for 5 weeks, made a fortune. The Ravens had no choice but to bring him back, especially after they didn't bring back their preceding Super Bowl champion, Trent Dilfer, in favor of bringing in Elvis Gerbach. Baltimore would have rioted if they didn't bring back Joe Flacco. But you also knew at the time, this is not a good idea. Who did say, you know what, this heralds a start of Joe Flacco's Hall of Fame run. What he just did in that Super Bowl. You knew he was mediocre, and it's almost bad if you have to tether yourself to that middle class QB for the next 6 years because he plays well for 1 year and win his contract.
Boy, is this a Steelers spin on the Ravens winning the Super Bowl? I mean, you're 100% right, but that's just kind of funny. Will was appalled; he had to leave. I think when I'm looking at the quarterbacks, right, wondering which team has the worst quarterback situation in the NFL. It might be the Colts. It's probably the Jaguars, but dude.
The Colts is a great call. It's a great call. He might be, for at least among, if we're ruling out with all the injuries and another loss on Thursday night, if we're ruling the Niners out as contenders, which I think is kind of fair to do. Sorry to the Niners fans out there. Among teams that you really would look at and say, if things would break right, they could make some hay come January. I think the worst quarterback situation is in Indy.
But I think that Philip Rivers might be the worst starting quarterback in football. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
it might be. That might be right.
Maybe the Cowboys guys. I don't know about Jake Luton. I saw him throw 2 passes today, but I watched a lot of the Ravens Colts game today. I'm sorry, he's just cooked. Everybody knows it, but yeah, he's just cooked. I wanted Will to be here because he's an NC State guy and he defends Philip Rivers, even when Rivers is laying on his back, flailing at a defender. All right, so before you leave, give me your Simpsons take. Let's get into this. This is my going to sleep show. It just calms me. Everything's right in the world when I got the Simpsons on.
Well, I mean, it pretty much, I give it more room than a few more seasons than I think, like I say, the people who, were devotees of its first decade or so. It's the funniest show. And that's not hyperbole. Shout out to the Larry Sanders Show. I don't think Always Sunny in Philadelphia gets enough love. I think we kind of ignore that and lionize the other, the classic comedies. Cheers, rightly, should be up there on the winner stand, in my opinion. I think it goes Simpsons, Larry Sanders, Cheers would probably be my top.
Where's Seinfeld? Where's Seinfeld? Let's look a little credit here.
All right, I go, you know what? I'm not trying to be a cool or anything here. I go Curb Your Enthusiasm over Seinfeld if I have to. I like that one. If I have to choose that come from the same universe, I think I would lean in that direction a little bit. But yeah, it's very like the thing that the knock on the Simpsons, I guess it's like kind of like comparing Larry Sanders versus the Simpsons is like Led Zeppelin versus the Rolling Stones. Like Led Zeppelin only was around for a short window, so it was always good. They were always in their prime, and then they went away. Rolling Stones are kind of like Simpsons season 15 is kind of like Steel Wheels, and everything after is what other nonsense the Rolling Stones have put out since then. but still in the sweet spot, could make a case. In their prime, the best.
Yeah, to me, Simpsons, after season 8, you start to see kind of a downtick. Homer gets really dumb. That's most of the jokes is just Homer just being really stupid. They're not as timeless. They're more about like current events, jokes that are relevant and funny then, but you go back, you watch them 15 years later, it's just not as funny anymore. A slow beginning to the end, I think, beginning with season 9. Still some funny stuff, but the peak to me is like seasons probably 4 through 7. Season 8 still great.
I think that's about right.
Yeah.
But I think Marge, though, I don't think that captures your window there. I don't think that captures my favorite episode of all time, which is Marge when she becomes a real estate agent. There's so much that's when the wall of the front wall of the house collapses and Lenny is inside in his underwear eating a bowl of something, and he says, "Please don't tell anyone how I live."
One of my favorite Simpsons lines is "Stay away from the West Side." That old bit with Cookie Cobb, I think her name is. It's just so random.
It's the best.
You guys want to know where I had to go?
What's that?
Do you want to know where I had to go?
Sure. Ben Roethlisberger's coming out for the second half, by the way. So
I saw. I got an alert on my phone from.
Why? I wish you would have told me that. There he is. Look at him.
Bertie tweeted a few minutes ago.
Move over, John Wayne. Here he comes.
Yeah.
Now listen. I'm going to tell you something. If you guys are cutting me off and you're kicking me to the curb, so be it. It's your show. You do what you want. I want to tell you one thing, though. We are witnessing history, not in Big D, the renewal of the greatest. There's a lot of history going on today. One, is this Steelers, Cowboys? What is it? Interconference, interdivision? Is it when you're playing in your division? Is it inter or intra?
It's intra.
Intra.
Think about the intra goes through different.
So inter. Right. I'm sorry. I went to journalism school. As a matter of fact, I went to the journalism school on the campus where the 10th ranked Indiana Hoosiers, soon to be playing for the national championship, reside. But anyhow, they didn't teach me that part about inter. I forgot.
Oh, right.
I never knew intramurals, intramurals. I should have known that. Anyway, the greatest inter-conference rivalry in sports history, at least up there with USC Notre Dame, Lakers Celtics.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what else. Those would be up there. But also the history we're witnessing right now. You'll remember, where were you? This week will be forever remembered in American history because it is the greatest 1v1 matchup in NFL history. Kyler versus Tua. Believe it or not, Warren Moon never played another guy in number 1. Cam Newton somehow, because of the injury last year, missed Kyler Murray. And so Tua v. Kyler, the greatest 1v1, and it completes the circle. If you care enough, you can look me up on Twitter.
Wait. He wasn't.
I've issued my full list. What's that?
You mean number 1 overall picks?
No. The uniform number.
The jersey number 1. Oh, wow.
Jersey number 1.
Okay.
The jersey number 1. Because every other number has been covered. I mean, there's some really bad ones, but 2 has played 2.
That's so cool.
3 has played 3. The best of them are Steve Young versus Troy Aikman, 8v8. 9v9 is Romo v. Breeze. And 12v12 has 2 really good ones. Has the aforementioned great rivalry, Cowboys Steelers, Bradshaw v. Staubach, but probably trumped by Brady v. Rodgers ultimately.
Yeah. Wow.
This is one of Shaq's
Wow.
specialties.
Yeah, that's really
it.
cool.
Stupid stuff. That's my specialty.
You are free. You probably don't want this responsibility, but you can stay for as long as you like. You are free to go or stay as much as you would like. I won't spoil anything for you. We love having you on.
So you know on where I was. My wife had me order a pizza for my son. It was a Domino's thin crust, extra cheese pizza. I ordered it. She was like, "We'll be home in 10 minutes." So I ordered it thinking there's no possible way that the pizza could arrive before my wife. The pizza gets here, and I get an alert from Domino's. It's like the dude is pulling up. I go out there, and I'd redeemed some pizza points for it. So it's like free pizza, basically. Somehow in my ordering it while we were on the show, I ordered it to pay cash here. So it's like $3.24 cash here. I have no cash. So I had to go and count 12 quarters, 2 dimes, and 4 pennies to provide the Domino's guy.
Oh
And just looked at his hands like, sorry, bro, I'm live on air. I'll see you later.
Oh, this is when you call the store and give the credit card number. This has happened before.
I like that. That foretells of the Steelers trying to get past the money line here tonight, the rest of the way. Like, okay, we get 2 points on that one, and maybe if we kick a field goal, yeah, that's basically how the Steelers are gonna have to scratch this one out here.
All right, so Dan,
sorry.
I wanted to bring up a funny pizza thing that I saw on a TV show, and you obviously know the TV industry quite well. You are a fan of the show Nathan For You?
Love Nathan For You. Yes, marvelous.
You remember the pizza bit, like the company?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Nathan For You, this guy, he tries to help small businesses with these wacky ideas, and they're actually pretty clever and like probably fairly successful. So he says like this pizza place is having trouble. They need to increase businesses. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We say, you order a pizza. If it doesn't get to you in 10 minutes, you get a free pizza on us. And the guy's like, I can't deliver a pizza. And he's like, don't worry about it. The free pizza is going to be this big. So he shows up to these houses and like, you have to pay for the regular pizza, but you get a free one. So of course you're like, yeah, I'll take this 10-minute delivery. I'm going to get a free pizza out of it. He shows up to the house with a pizza box like this big.
That's pretty good.
Some people get pissed. Some people are just cracking up, but it's like such a funny bit.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic, it really is a great show. Not great is the Steelers coming out in the second half. And once again, the Gilbert Gottfried-led Cowboys offense having their way. More guys every play, getting up, limping, Stephon Tuitt. I mean, that's the drill at this point, isn't it? And let me take a dark turn here because I'm not jiving about this. What is the explanation for this awful syndrome of guys getting their foots bent in unnatural directions over the last 5 years or so? It's not just basketball. I mean, it's basketball too. We keep seeing it. What is this owed to? Was this happening 30 or 50 years ago and the cameras didn't get it, or there were no cameras at the time? Was this Theismann was grotesque because it had just never been captured like that before. But it seems like we're seeing a Theismann every week or two now. It's horrible stuff.
By the way, I once played on a softball team with Joe Theismann's son.
Really?
Yeah. And
is he
in
a good
fact,
athlete?
no, not particularly. A good dude. Lived in Greensboro, but he had never seen the video.
Really?
What?
Yeah. And one of the dudes on the team was like, dude, you got to see this. And I brought it up. He's like, like, what are you doing? Why did you show him that video?
Well, you guys now work with Kyle Long. He and his brother Chris. I'll tell you how you get those guys is they don't like to talk about it. They don't like to hear about it. It's when Christian Slater kicks their old man off the moving train in
was I with you? Was I with you when you discussed this, or you just talked to him about this on a podcast?
I talked to him about it. I brought it up.
I've heard you bring it up. I can't remember if it was like.
Yeah, it's I in fact, everybody they remake every movie. I'd like to, and in fact, in this age of
you're talking about Broken Arrow, obviously.
Yeah, they've done a lot of live reads of classic films and TV shows. I've suggested and not gotten a hard no yet that we do a live read of that with Howie in the Christian Slater role. I don't know how we would how it all shake out. I'm very upset as now Tony Pollard gashes the Steelers. See, there were signs of hope here.
Oh, dude, listen. Oh, that was incomplete. There was a throw that Justin Herbert made on this drive, a deep ball, I think, to Jalen Guyton. This guy is incredibly accurate downfield. Unbelievable.
Somebody asked me that the other day. What do you guys think of that? If you redraft right now, it's completely unfair.
Washington takes Herbert too.
You think so, huh?
I mean, he doesn't go one.
What's the full question? What's the full question? Like this rookie class?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's interesting too. Yeah, if you would you take Herbert over Burrow now? Would you take Herbert over? Because the Chargers certainly would have taken Tua had he been sitting there. But I feel like Telesco's probably feeling. As a matter of fact, sort of like the Steelers felt. They want, that's what's great about the 2004 draft as we watch Roethlisberger and Old Man Rivers today. It is interesting that the Giants wanted Roethlisberger. I forget the math of it, but they had to over Rivers.
Yes.
And Cowher wanted Rivers.
Because Cowher's a skate guy.
Right. And if you ask him about that, he doesn't say no. He just says like, it all worked out. It all worked out for everybody.
We knew he wasn't going to make it to us anyway, or something like that. He wanted Rivers.
Yeah, he wanted Rivers. The Giants wanted if they but they took Eli, and then they could make that swap with San Diego to do it. So similarly, is Telesco the big winner because he had the third pick? In a lot of ways, because of my mental and emotional makeup, I would not want for there to be two QBs available, 1 and 2, and have the first pick. I'd rather have the second pick so that nobody could blame me for anything.
Well, this year I am so convinced that Trevor Lawrence is going to be, is an absolute superstar.
Yes.
I don't want to have to settle for Justin Fields or whoever else ends up being number 2.
Oh, I don't know. I see. I listen, we got half a regular season left, let alone hopefully a playoffs if the 19 will allow for all of these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, come spring, I don't know. I feel like it's going to get closer and closer. I mean, the combine and otherwise will settle these issues. Cause I don't think it will end up being Lawrence. I agree with that, but I think it's pretty close. I'm surprised that you so quickly just go like, well, clearly you want Lawrence number 1.
I'm with Aizer in my belief of Lawrence, but I'm with you, Shek, in the idea that it will get artificially compressed.
I do too. No,
yeah, right.
Fields will be number 2 probably, but I can't remember seeing a quarterback that I was this convinced about. I don't watch as much college football as I'd like to. I will say that, but Lawrence is just I don't know.
I can't remember the kid's name from NC State who rallied the pack against the Pitt Panthers, but
he broke his leg the next week.
He's out. Well, that's how close I'm paying attention.
Devin Leary, he could spin it, man. He's good, but he's.
I did not know. I did not know about him, but man, that's exactly the point, though. Adam, is it? First of all, it's not just the RPO stuff. So they also have that element to their game. They all are comfortable with it. It's a weird thing, Again. We're watching the Steelers here. And with Roethlisberger, I feel like he's at an age where it's like, why are you trying to jam the RPO on him? First of all, he never gives it to the back anyway. When they run RPO, but a big part of it is the deception or the choice that you put on the defender. But the defender can kind of assume like, yeah, it's Ben Roethlisberger. He's not giving it to 30 here. And 2, Roethlisberger, maybe it's just because he started trying to learn it when he was 36, 37, but he doesn't get a good grip on the ball or something. To my eyeball, he just seems like he can't do it. But anyway, these college kids, they're all good at that. They're all proficient. They can all spin it. I mean, it's crazy how deep it goes. You just don't, this idea, it's owed to the old school thinking. It took forever for people, and there's still some holdouts among the head coaching ranks in pro football where they're still like, well, we're at the other team's 41 and it's 4th and 1. We better punt it here. Nobody does that anymore. It's just understood. Now, well, you go for it.
Right.
It takes a few years for everybody to get on board with some of these things. You're feeling that at the GM level. I feel like these teams that scramble to get a QB and move heaven and earth to do it's like, settle down, man. If you don't have your guy right now, he'll be there in 5 minutes. There's again, Cam Newton and Jameis Winston are proof of that. I'm not saying either. Cam Newton obviously can win a Super Bowl. He was a tick away from getting one. And I don't think it's crazy to think that Jameis Winston reemerges
from Sean Payton's school of QBs. Yeah. And also like Herbert's a great example of this too, because even Herbert's like most ardent supporters would not have told you that Herbert was going to come in and start week 3 or whatever, week 2 or whatever it was, and just be great out of the box. Like they were like, he's raw, he needs to sit, he needs to learn, et cetera, et cetera. And he's just great. Like it's a nightmare for somebody like me who thought he was going to stink. But like, I just don't know that you can, I think it's hard to suck at being a quarterback. If you're young,
that's it. Well, I mean, that's the main point. That's the main point is that they've greased the skids. So, I mean, listen, the kid in Jacksonville, I know rally points, but still, he went for over 300 yards in his first ever game, and so it was, obviously it's a little bit easier to throw the ball now than it used to be. But Herbert, it's funny now. Like now, it's so obvious that this now nobody is going to take ownership of these. But the reason that he fell is because of Marcus Mariota, because people attributed these things to him. It's like, well, see, another Oregon QB who's too quiet and he's brainy. He's like, the hell did everybody do there? That was what just everybody did that because of what happened 7 years ago because he went to the same college. That's a little bit of a stretch, but in hindsight, nobody's going to remember that. So, but it is funny that that's probably the reason why Herbert was the clear-cut third guy.
But isn't it weird how like we ascribe these like physical or like emotional qualities to like people because they went to the same school? It's like, these LSU quarterbacks just aren't accurate. It's like that. I mean, these Oregon QBs are just real quiet. They're not leaders.
It was a big.
It's even better. Go ahead, Adam.
No, time and time again, USC wide receivers. They were bad like over and over again. And then we've had a pretty good batch, including Juju. Nelson Aguilar's having a good year. I'm sure I'm missing a few. But every year, USC wide receivers were total duds. Actually, Aguilar was part of that. Juju's kind of broken that mold a little.
Oh.
Is
Deontay Johnson hurt again? He might be.
Did they call that a touchdown?
Wow.
Yo, this Cowboy, this is a good game. I mean, this is a very dramatic game. The Cardinals-Dolphins game is terrific. And it looks.
How is that not an interception?
I don't know, but it looks
insane. He stole the ball from them. No, I don't know what that is.
Xavier Howard, it appears, is shadowing DeAndre Hopkins. I can't tell. And it looks like he's doing just a tremendous job. But let's
Byron Jones has.
How'd you like the Marcus Peters pick, by the way? How'd you feel about the Marcus Peters INT?
Well, as a Phillip Rivers fan and a Colts supporter, I didn't like it. I thought it was pretty terrible, Dave.
Outrageous.
I mean, like, how on earth can?
Yo, like, BMAC is coming on soon. We got to ask him about that.
Who is
BMAC?
Oh yeah. Well, and Dave, now that you don't have you don't concern yourself with the vengeful wrath of suits at a particular league at this moment, and like, what is Al Riveron doing? This guy's a clown. Like, what is happening? This is unfathomably bad.
He got 3 feet down. He got the football move in.
No,
like I say, what 4 seasons does for landscaping, Al Riveron does for pro football officiating. It's terrible. It really is bad. It's the thing that I resent is the authority with which he delivers it. I mean, it's condescending almost. So, I guess you just don't understand the rules.
Like, we just do it differently here. He said and he was like, the runner was, the defensive player was clear. And it's like, as he's saying this, they're showing the highlight. I was like, clear and obvious. And like the ball comes squirting out as he's saying that. It's like who overlaid that and thought that this was an acceptable thing to send out?
I love the joyless. The joyless in our society. It's hard to imagine just going through. We're all the stars of our own movies. And it's just I often find myself wondering, like, man, are you bored by your own movie? Like, is that like what? Think about what are Roger and Ebert giving your movie, man? And I went up to Al Riveron once and I said, hey, as a man of justice, I feel that Adam Carolla deserves the credit for coming up with the idea of raising the goalpost. For 20 years, I listened to him rail on and on, like, they gotta.
It's like his
why
thing.
can't the PVC pipe is not heavy? You could extend that up higher so that there would be less doubt about whether or not it goes over the cross or over the goalpost. And so finally they did that. And I said, as a man of justice, I feel that he deserves credit. It should be called the Adam Carolla rule or something like that. Al Riveron was like, I don't know about any of that.
That's like the end of the conversation.
All right, fun, good chat, man. Good fun.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
If you have
my idea is though, box it. That's how you make field goal kicking better. You box it. You put the crossbar across the top of it, and then you got to get it through the rectangle, raising the stake.
Oh my god,
I like that.
that's fun. My
Then you can like the 67 yarder that you're attempting, you're not even going like you got to like you're attempting a long one to win. Like too much leg screws you. Like you've got to be able to like.
That's right.
Put it
Here's
in.
the thing. You know what? Here's the answer. Here's the answer, by the way, or a good one to throw in there to the long ago mentioned. What has changed the most in the last 20 some years in pro football? The kickers are too good now.
Yeah, they're so
Nobody when they were coming up with this game, or even into, like 1995, 2000, guys were not supposed to be out there booting 57 yarders with regularity. If you did, it was like, I can't believe he did it. Now it happens every week. People make that. Here's a great one. Talk about wins above replacement and all that. What are the Ravens? What is their, a perennial playoff contender, made some real deep runs, obviously, in this century. Where are they without Justin Tucker the last decade? Or how much do they fall off a cliff if you give them a league average kicker? It's not supposed to be that way.
What did Billy Cundiff who shanked that one in Foxborough? It's like, that's like the difference right there. Like you just toss a rando in there and all of a sudden Baltimore's losing a ton of games, a ton of close games. Like is Tucker a Hall of Famer? I think so, right?
Oh, I mean, there's no doubt. He's the best kicker of all time.
There's only two in, right? Morton and...
Yeah, but there's no debate. And sad as Gary Anderson should be in there, but you can't put him in there with the seminal kick of his career was a miss. So he's unfortunately for him not going to go. But and then also Vinatieri's got to go too. I mean, there's no doubt.
Vinatieri. Yeah. When John Breach and I covered that Hall of Fame ceremony where Morton got in, we were leaving and like trying to get find the media bus, and we walk outside and like all these guys, it's like they're there. Like, they're with like tons of friends and family members and celebrating the culmination of decades of it. And it's like Morton Anderson was like standing out like by himself on the curb. And we're like, hi, Mr. Anderson. He's too old to call. We didn't want to be like, hey, Morton. And he just sort of like chatting us up for a second. And finally like his family came over, but we were like, is this guy just alone? Like on the greatest night of his life, just standing here alone? Is he just a lone wolf? This is insane.
Seabass Janikowski's the fattest kicker ever, and there were a lot of fat kickers over the years. But with this side of Johnny Hecker, Morton Anderson has to be the biggest kicker. Reggie Roby was a big dude too. He also wore the watch, but
it was big.
But yeah, Morton Anderson is gigantic, and I hear me now, believe me later. Invite Morton Anderson onto your show. You will be delighted by him. He is one of the great storytellers in pro football that I've come across. He's hysterical, and he tells great stories about that NFC title game that Gary Anderson missed. Morton Anderson made it. He was happy. He was going to a Super Bowl, and then his agent called him while he was on the team bus after the game and said, you just made $500,000 because that kick somehow kicks in some bonus or whatever. And the Steelers tackling is atrocious. This is getting disgusting.
Yeah, that's bad.
Really grim.
It's starting to get a little bit of a red alert here. We'll check in on this game on the home team watch party presented by Lowe's. Adam Aizer, Will Brinson, Dave Dameshek. We have Bryant, McFadden, and Nando DeFito joining us. We're 6 minutes left in the third quarter here. And Dallas has a 7-point lead, 16-9. And let's check on the stats here. How is Ezekiel Elliott doing? And I wonder how many people started Ezekiel Elliott today.
Spoiler, not well.
10 carries for 22 yards. Tony Pollard has 4 carries for 39 yards.
11 carries for 22 yards.
All right. Let's see how many leagues. He was started in 60% of leagues. That is a shame. But I'm really surprised that the Steelers' run game hasn't gotten going. Now, Dave, let me ask you about the Steelers' defense. Because before you came on, Will and I were talking, why is their pass defense so bad? What is going on? They have the same personnel they had last year. Why is their secondary struggling so much? And they have a great pass rush. I don't get it.
I think there is something to, let's see what happens here. I don't think any defense is at its best just yet. The second half of NFL seasons are when the defenses start to turn it on a little bit. That's a legitimate big loss for them to take Devin Bush out of the mix there.
Huge loss.
Yeah.
And it requires them to come up to the line a little bit. I guess you could make that case. I do think they've also compelled TJ Watt and Bud Dupree to play the run a little bit more than they otherwise might. And ironically, maybe that's exposing them a little bit in early passing or early down pass situations. I guess I'm trying to figure it out. I don't have a great answer for you on that one. Yeah. But
is it just like maybe the cornerbacks just aren't playing as well? I don't know.
Minka's not playing as well as he was when he came over last year.
No, he's straight up. They used to call it. I haven't heard the term used in 15, 20 years now, but they used to that deep safety. They used to some programs, some teams would call it the hero position, and I mean they would really like that. They didn't label him as free safety. It was called like he's playing hero.
Right. Like Greg Williams called it like the angel safety or whatever.
Right. I mean, that's basically what he's doing. He's back there to ball hawk and everything and benefit from the pass rush and get the QB throwing it a tick early. And he's back there to pick it off, kind of like what he did earlier in the game here today. Joe Hayden's, he's getting up there a little bit. I don't have a good answer for you is the bottom line.
That was a bad question.
The thing that they, Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think, and I'm going to steal one of Sheck's things to apply it to, but I think Devin Bush might be a Jenga piece. Like for that defense, I really do.
My point is like the whole year they've been struggling with their pass defense. Bush played most of the year. So
yeah, also Bush, I just think they're not. Hayden and Minka aren't playing as well as they did last year.
Okay, well, there you go.
Minka came over and immediately scored multiple touchdowns.
More importantly, Will, you missed it while you were gone paying for pizza. Dave said that he likes Curb Your Enthusiasm better than Seinfeld.
I'm with that.
Not even that he likes it, but I think that it's better.
Well, it is better. It's definitely like a better show.
There's too many bad episodes in Curb. I think there are too many duds.
That's fair, but my comparison is always, or when you go head to head, Seinfeld Curb, underrated how bad Jerry Seinfeld is as an actor, and he
cannot not laugh.
Right, Larry David is the superior performer.
Yeah.
One and two, it's kind of like it's also. I think that the reruns are hurt a little bit by what we know about Michael Richards at this point. This is getting really bad. I'm really starting to get sad about this, even though I told everybody all week, don't be surprised when the Steelers lose this game. The idea that they're going to cover wherever it kicked off at for you. Last I saw it was down to 13.5 in some places. I saw it at 14.
You like the Cowboys at plus 14?
I did. Yes. Yeah.
And looking pretty good.
Cousin Sal was all over it too. Jeff Schwartz was all over it. We were in lockstep, and like I say, I'm just surprised that people are so. I just before I jumped on, before it really started to get grim here, the city of Pittsburgh was losing its mind. What's going on, Jens? Well, how's this possible? How many? You guys aren't newcomers to the Steelers, are you? This is what happens to them. This is what Mike Tomlin. I don't know why. I've talked to. You know what? BMAC is yet another great guy to ask this question to, and get ready for an unsatisfying answer because I say, what? I mean, would you ever talk on the plane on your way out to play the Raiders? Would you ever be like, all right, for real, this time we cannot lose to this terrible team. We're not losing to this terrible team. What happens? And they all say yeah, we would talk about it all the time. We were aware of it. So then why didn't you change it? How is it possible?
Wait a second. Can we talk about this situation right here? What a cowardly play to kick the field goal there.
Oh, Mike McCarthy's a coward.
4th and inches at the 21-yard line. You just went up 10. I don't know, man. I think you got to go for it there.
I think you do. He
believes in his mind that the best way to win is to get the 3 there. He incorrectly believes that, and he is desperate for a win. He's doing what Jason Garrett always did.
He didn't wake up from that coma in 1998. That's what happened.
Right. He
1998 football.
Mike McCarthy is under so much pressure and heat right now that the last thing he wants is to go for it on 4th and short near the goal line instead of taking a free field goal and get blasted. He thinks he'll get blasted for it. When in reality, most people would be like, that's a good move. You go for it there, you pick it up, you help win the game. As a Steelers fan, you wanted him to kick, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you have Zeke Elliott on your team. They understand that, right? I mean, it's not a crazy move to go for it. It's 4th and inches too. Did you
It's
see
not
how
like
close
4th and
it was?
2.
More than it. You can choose.
I'm a big advocate of that too. Like, you let me see what it is. Like that, there's a lot of nuance in 4th and inches, 4th and 1. Let me. I mean, like, is it 6 inches, or are we talking about like a full 3 feet or more than that? Because then that will help determine my my choice here. Also, as far as that goes, what's a weird thing is with those short yardage situations. A great irony is that the best Tom Brady rightly gets a lot of credit for how good he is at the QB sneak. But isn't it weird that one of the least athletic guys of the 21st century, Drew Brees, who is 6 feet maybe, is the best at it, bar none. And all he does is as soon as the snap hits his hand, he jumps forward with the ball, and there's no stopping it. It never is stopped because it's impossible to stop. If you get the snap and immediately jump forward, there's no way a defense can get in the way of that. And yet no one mimics that. No one. If it works for the 6 foot guy, it's going to work for the 6'4" guy. No one ever does that. They're always like, look how rugged he is. Oh, but even if you hit him, he's still hard. Yeah, but how about avoid all that? Just do what Drew Brees does. Why doesn't everybody just mimic that move? It makes me crazy.
Is it possible that it's easier for a shorter person to do that? Like to get up in the air quickly, because you're under center and he doesn't have as much, body to elevate. I feel like he has an edge. He has a leverage edge. He can get up there quickly.
I don't know. By your logic, then Chris Paul should be a better dunker than LeBron James, and it doesn't work out that way.
I will say that I think like a taller quarterback would try and like not jump and maybe just like reach it over. But like Breeze is almost like this little springboard and just pop. Yeah. No, you're right though, Dave. Like that's a free. Like all it has to do is cross the plane, and he, routinely he like doesn't even get hit when he does it. That's crazy.
No. It's up and over, and then it's back before anything ever happens. It's done. Like, it's anticlimactic. The rest of the play is there's a weird sense about it because, like, in the first 0.3, it was a first down already, and all the rest is just nonsense of whatever else is happening out there.
Yeah, it is a fairly boring play, I suppose. We have a new guest.
Oh, you got somebody new here. Look at this.
You got
all right, I'll leave you guys. I don't want to get in the way of whoever you have coming up. I got to go sweat out this last.
Yeah. You probably don't want to be on here with us watching a faster feed than you do.
No, you're delightful. You've been a fun distraction for me because I'd otherwise be in a pool of sweat and personal torment.
I want to just tell you that our Heath Cummings, one of our colleagues, came up with a Broken Arrow fantasy football team name, which is Fulgham if they can't take a joke.
Yeah. So next time you talk to Kyle Allen, bring up the shameful day in the Long family when Christian Slater beat up Howie. I mean, but the make good on that is Chris Long will tell you what was Howie's psych up music on his way to the stadium or getting ready. And this is true. It was Sade. He would listen to Sade. How humiliating if you were a pro football 300-pound muscle bound guy in the NFL and you got whipped 60 minutes by a Sade fan. That would be bad.
That's pretty bad.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for coming on.
Anyway, good times, fellas.
Hey, see you, Dave.
Good to see you. Be well, fellas.
Later, Shaq.
Nando's getting so impatient that he had to cough to make sure we knew he was on. Hey, what's up, Nando? I know you're here. But
I didn't know I thought I wasn't on yet. You didn't do that. Oh, you here yet? You there? You there? You here? Is he ready?
Hey, Nando, tap on your mic. Yeah, I don't think it's working. I think you're using your computer mic. See
all right, hold on. Just give me a second, all right?
Dude, change just not having a good game.
I'm changing it right now. Test mic. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, how about now?
Hey, there he is.
Aizer, yeah.
There he is.
Gabe Neighbors.
Yo, it's what really?
Hey, caught a touchdown.
Herbert got.
That's awesome.
Oh, Herbert's down.
Oh, no. Don't.
He got rocked. Yeah, he's on the ground. They're looking at something.
Oh, dude, this Kyler.
We've talked about Gabe Neighbors every week over on our show, our other show. The other show that I do. Because he's a random dude, but there was someone who was important to that. What?
I got to see your background. What the? Wait. That's me and Josh Gad. That's
You guys are best friends from high school.
yeah.
That's you tell everybody. Well, I don't know if you know this story, but they are best friends from high school.
No, we're not.
Did y'all
I don't
go
know.
to high school?
I went to high school with Josh Gad. Yeah.
Adam, if you could take a look, I got your logo in there and everything.
What's my logo?
I don't know, the Sharks.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Didn't you go to the NSU University
Were
School?
we Sharks? I swear I don't even know what our team is.
All right, Johnny Sports. Gotcha.
I was on the soccer team, but I don't even know what our team name was. Yeah,
soccer team.
With Josh Gad. He was friends with all my friends, and I sat next to him at a wedding. We were in the same wedding party a few years ago, so that was cool.
Did you, when you sat next to him at the wedding, were you like, "Hey, famous guy, do you remember me from high school?" And he's like, "I have no idea who you are." Or did he does he know who you are?
He probably because my best friend is his best friend, but
that's not how best friends work.
Yeah,
But
but
that seems like you two would be best friends then.
I went to a very small high school, so I'm sure he probably knew my name.
Wait, you guys had a friend in common who was like you and Josh Gad each separately considered your. So you and Josh Gad hate each other.
No, I'll tell you.
Thank you, Will. Yes. Hey, Will. Cheers, man. It's good to see you again.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because Josh was 3 years older than I was. So when I was a
freshman, by the way,
senior. When I was a freshman, he was a senior, and I didn't become friends with the mutual best friend until my sophomore year when Josh was already out of high school. So,
Will, we're forgetting the twist. There's always an Aizer twist. Was this mutual best friend of yours a male or female?
Male. That's the wedding party.
Oh, you're full of it.
He was a male. My buddy Sam.
Wait,
that's Adam's only male friend.
Taylor? Who's in there right now? Who's the backup quarterback for the
Tyrod Taylor's he's healthy again, yeah.
Oh, Herbert's out?
I told you.
Wait, he just said this 3 minutes ago.
He said he was down. He didn't say he was out.
I think it's like I don't know what they were looking at for.
All right. Listen, let's talk a little football here. Steelers are trying.
Kyler's ridiculous.
Yeah, Kyler's playing on another.
Oh,
level.
his speed. That's a flag.
But that's what we were waiting for. He was the next Lamar Jackson, right?
Who else is joining us?
What's up?
I told you.
B-Mac, that's right.
Brian McFadden's coming on. Come on. All right, B-Mac's coming on. The Cowboys, and this is the home team watch party presented by Lowe's. You are watching on Twitch. We thank you for being here.
B-Mac!
What's up?
If you just let me speak, the Steelers are, I got to set it up. The Steelers are down by 10. They're at the 40-yard line. And former Pittsburgh Steelers, Super Bowl champion, two-time Super Bowl champion, Bryant McFadden is here. Welcome to the show, B-Mac. We need to know, most important thing of the day, did you see the Marcus Peters interception, and what did you think of it?
I didn't think there was an interception. Even with me being a former defender, a secondary player, I was so surprised they ruled that an interception. But because of the fantasy relationship I currently have with the Baltimore Ravens and currently having them on one of my fantasy teams, I was smiling when they finally made the bad call a right call.
Can't tell if that's a real background or not, man. That's beautiful.
That's his HQ background.
I can't tell if that's like a green screen thing or if that's actually what you're sitting in right now.
Yeah, I got my, because it's the Steelers, playing the Cowboys. I got my two Steeler jerseys and along with my Senior Bowl jersey over there. So
that's awesome.
Yes,
that's
sir.
nice.
Yeah, no, his back. That's like it's like a real, but it's not like a drop or anything. It's not like a printout.
No, it's like he's sitting in a room.
Yeah. And those are actual Lombardi trophies.
Yes, from the Steelers. We didn't get those in Walgreens. We actually went out and got those on the gridiron.
I'm always like, whenever I do an HQ segment or something with BMAC, I'm always like, I shouldn't be thrown off by this, but it's like the host is welcoming you in, and he's like, and of course, 2-time Super Bowl champion. You're like, oh man, I'm getting a great interview. You're like, wait a minute, he's not talking about me. He's talking about BMAC. Like, what? Like for a brief moment, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy is giving me. He's like, this guy's pumping me up. And I'm like, wait, I've never won a Super Bowl. What am I talking about? I'm an idiot.
I want it, Will. You want it also. We all want it.
BMAC, why do the Steelers always struggle as like big favorites on the road? And Nando, I just told my friends to check out Twitch and see if they can figure out what your background is. And I think that they are going to get a big kick out of it. So
that's great. Your mutual friends.
Dave Dameshek said to tell you hello, BMAC, as well.
Oh, tell them what's up. I know one thing: the Steelers better find a win this ball game, because if they take this L. But to answer your question, usually we see the Steelers struggle against a bad team on the West Coast.
Yeah,
usually it's in the Bay Area. Specifically, it has been the Raiders of choice. The Raiders of choice have been that team that kind of have provided a loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's funny because going into this ball game, I had a friend of mine asking me, would the Steelers cover the 14? I said no.
Yeah.
I didn't see that happening. And I felt like this could be one of those weird ball games the Steelers are always involved in. You know what I mean? Steelers are kind of like Clemson, where they play real good football throughout the season, but there's always that one weird ball game. Remember last week, that was Boston College for Clemson.
And then like the year before when they won the title, they lost to Syracuse.
Syracuse, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for the Steelers. It just came out flat. And now, they're in a dogfight.
I got like 7 questions for you based off of that. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Will.
Johnson playing right now?
No, come on. Go ahead, man.
Will's asking.
Will,
go ahead. I was asking a question not to BMAC, but to like in general about Deontay Johnson.
Oh, Juju, get in.
Juju!
Yes. Woo!
You behind us, BMAC?
I'm behind you guys, I think. Who just scored for the Steelers?
I don't want to tell you.
Juju. Okay, Juju. Yeah, I'm behind you guys.
Is road still a thing this year? Is playing on the road still a thing this year? Is it just the travel to the West Coast? Like, there's no one in stadiums or anything. Does it matter anymore?
It doesn't really matter. I think the only stadium that really the home field is still an advantage, I think, is Kansas City. Because it seems like Kansas City has the most fans that you can have in the stadium compared to some of the other teams in the National Football League. So I think that has probably been the only advantage, home field advantage throughout the National Football League. But clearly, and it's hard to bet too when it comes to betting, the betting angle, because usually home field advantage is extremely important, especially like primetime games and
right.
teams that really rely on that home crowd. The same Seattle, teams like that, they definitely rely on the home crowd.
Will, what were you going to ask?
I was asking if Deontay Johnson was still in the field.
Oh, I don't know, man. BMAC, we can't figure out these Steelers wide receivers week to week.
It's like the Patriots backfield from years ago, right? It's kind of hard to pinpoint who was going to be the featured guy. I think it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, probably.
It's not good for fantasy, though.
All right, so you got a podcast that you do with Patrick Peterson, and you'll tell us all about it. He seems to be the only person on earth who can cover DK Metcalf. What is his secret? Because like Tre'Davious White couldn't do it today. Oh, blocked the extra point. Wow.
They blocked the extra point.
They did, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, now they're running it back for 2.
And the Chargers just muffed the punt return.
Oh, that's a big play. Down by 2 with 8 minutes left. Got some good football games going on here. How does Patrick Peterson cover DK Metcalf?
Well, I had an opportunity to talk to Pat, because of the podcast we're currently involved in, and he said that he just loved those matchups. Big wide receivers that are physical, strong, and fast. And the thing about DK, he loves to get into a fighting match. You know what I mean? He wants that physical nature, and Pat loves that physical nature as well. And I was surprised when I saw the stats from Next Gen Stats about the last 2 matchups. I think Pat has only surrendered 1 reception against DK. And that right there, I mean, you can say right now, even with Julio still playing and playing real good football, that DK is the most dominating wide receiver right now in the National Football League. I think the consensus would say that.
I think he has 90 yards in every game except that game. 90 yards in every single game except when he faced Patrick Peterson. And was that the game that Lockett had 200 yards?
Yes.
Yeah. Lockett went off that ball game, and Pat, and he had a few plays on Lockett that, Lockett came down with huge catches, great pass, great reception. But in the one-on-one matchup between number 21 and number 14, so far Pat has won that matchup.
Pretty good.
Metcalf's doing it on like 4 catches a game too, right?
Yeah, he's a splash play guy. He might have 4 catches for 95 yards.
Yeah, he's leading the league in yards per catch.
Hey, real quick, guys, did you see this? I saw this earlier this morning from Sportsline. William Hill better placed a bet. He put $4,000 on a 7-leg parlay, and everything has come through for him except the Steelers. He needs the Steelers to win. Just to win.
But look at the first leg of the parlay. It's Maryland to win outright. They were a 27-point dog.
Yes, Maryland plus 1,200. Yeah. Liberty, he had Liberty just to win outright plus 500. App State, Oklahoma, Iowa State, Ohio State. Those were like the given. Iowa State was could have went either way, but everything has come through for him, and he needs the Steelers to win. So just imagine.
with one NFL game, man. Just stick with the college stuff at that point, right?
But he took look at the game he took, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're telling me out of all the teams he has, the one that you probably didn't worry about would be the Steelers, right? And Ohio State, they played against Rutgers, but that was minus 1,500. I mean, all you need is the Steelers to win, and that $4,000 bet would bring him $438,000.
Oh my God. I'd be melting down right now.
It's on the line right now. Oh,
Listen.
So if you put $4,000 on that and you thought you could win 400 and some $1,000, what's that?
Yeah, 438,000.
Yeah. Let's say that you got that bet in, and you wake up and you realize going to bed Saturday night that you need the Steelers to beat the Cowboys.
That's it.
But like, what would you hedge? Would you hedge or would you just let it ride?
No, all I need is the Steelers just to win. You don't need the Steelers to cover.
Lay down. You could have gone before the game and put down cash on the Cowboys money line.
Right.
Like plus 2,000, plus 1,500 or whatever it was. So you're gonna put 10 grand on that, and all of a sudden,
Or you could have prop swapped it out for like 250,000.
Well, I think all of us, if we were in that situation, we would go to sleep Saturday night smiling from ear to ear. I wouldn't even go to sleep.
No way, dude. I'd be so nervous. I would not be able.
Like, you mean to tell me your $4,000 can bring you 438,000?
Crazy. And all that has to happen is the Steelers have to beat Garrett Gilbert and the Cowboys.
Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah.
Garrett Gilbert.
Like, you can't breathe right now if you're that guy. Like, you were sitting there with a paper bag, like
Garrett Gilbert. I'm nervous that I didn't put $1 on this bet because I'm like, yo, if the Steelers lose, I mean, that's 2020 for you.
There's so much time left. They got so much time left.
So that was a really big play, by the way.
Cowboys are marching down the field right now.
Kickoff return. Like, they got a 15-yard penalty, and the Steelers, by all means, should have backed them up deep into their own territory. Great kickoff return all the way to about the 40-yard line, and here comes Gilbert Gottfried and the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, why do you make fun of him like that, man?
Gilbert Gottfried.
This is a callback to a previous joke from an hour ago now.
Was it? I don't know, man. Seems rude.
You should have been watching. If you really took this job seriously,
I was watching and researching the games instead of watching you.
Oh, what research did you come up with? Let's hear some of your notes.
Well, I thought it was funny that, Gilbert played for Steve Spurrier. He's a Steve Spurrier guy. I thought it was interesting that he's running, and they thought Ben DiNucci was going to be the guy who could scramble, and it turns out it's Garrett Gilbert who's scrambling.
Wait, what did Jamey tell me? Garrett Gilbert
played for Spurrier?
Yeah, in the AFL. He was on Orlando.
Oh, yeah. I thought he played at Texas.
Garrett Gilbert, yeah, he was at Texas.
He's like
29.
Garrett Gilbert, by the way, used to cover Amari Cooper on the Raiders scout team, according to Tom Spencer, who was on CBS Sports HQ today. He was in the booth with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. Garrett Gilbert used to cover Amari Cooper with the Raiders on the scout team. How about that, Nando? How about that?
Where'd you get that? GarrettGilbertFacts.org? .co.uk?
Jamey told me. I'm just reading it. Wow, here's Zeke spinning. Oh, man. Could you imagine if the Cowboys win this game? It would be quite surprising.
Especially for the guy with the $438,000.
Oh, my goodness.
That guy's got to be calling all his friends and being like, just give me all the money you got so I can just put a live bet right now on. They're probably limited like 2,500 on that live bet, right? There's got to be a cap on that.
Yeah. It's usually even less than, yeah.
Yeah. That's
4,000 is not supposed to bring you 438,000. That doesn't even make sense.
And instead, he's just going to, you have to at least put like $4,000 on the Cowboys money line just so you don't lose the $4,000.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but Will, I mean,
I know you wake up and you're like, all that has happened is the
I think in his shoes, you probably were feeling so lucky when Liberty came through, when Maryland came through. I mean, you probably felt like, yo, yeah.
No, you're not thinking this is going to lose. You're like, this is hitting, and my life is going to be substantially different for the next 24 hours.
Oh my goodness, yo, I'm nervous for this guy.
Hey, Brian, when you come into a game like this, like where everyone's like, oh, the Cowboys' offensive line sucks and blah blah blah. Like, does Garrett Gilbert actually, like, is he kind of running this more efficiently than people thought and opening up a lot more Zeke opportunities and stuff?
Yeah, and also, too, I think because you didn't have any film on Garrett Gilbert and not knowing anything about the guy outside of college, you didn't know exactly what he would look in his offense. But one thing he has done, he's been smart with the football. He's been smart with the football. And crazy enough, the offensive line hasn't played bad. I think they only surrendered 1 sack, and he's been making some plays happen with his legs as well. So that element of his game was surprising, just to see how he was able to get out of the pocket and make people miss and make some things happen with his legs. But for me, it was about the Steelers just starting off extremely flat and slow, and they just allow energy to come in the Cowboys roster, and now they actually believe they can win.
Is this like when you if you're on the Pittsburgh team like this, is this like get it out of the system? And when you're rolling through the season like this, it's just like, all right, we got this one out of the way. Let's just refocus and go. Is it almost like a good thing in a way?
Well, not necessarily, because the thing about the Steelers,
never mind.
they just scored. Oh God,
no. They didn't
behind you guys. What just happened?
No, it's a deflection, but the camera was a little
pass down.
Oh, you know the Steelers are prone to get a turnover here. That'd be big.
Yeah, man.
But the issue that I'm seeing with the Steelers defense, they rush the passer well. They create turnovers. They can't stop the run. They've been bad against the run. And for a team that has had injuries on the offensive line, the Dallas Cowboys, Dallas has been real efficient running the football. I mean, it hasn't just been one guy, but as a team, they got 138 yards rushing.
Oh,
what just happened?
You'll find out, B-Mac. You'll find out.
I said they'd be good for a turnover.
You did say that.
I said it'd be good for a turnover. I said it would be good for a turnover.
Fire.
They're about to get some sad wah-wah. We got a flag on the play.
It's a flag.
It might be rough in the passer. He got his hands up in his face.
Yeah, the Cowboys aren't leaving the field.
That's a tough one.
I haven't been watching this with the sound on it. They've been talking about Roethlisberger's shoulder at all?
His ankle.
I thought it was his shoulder.
I thought it was his knee.
Whatever it was. Yeah, he hurt his lower extremity. I'm sure they've been talking about it.
When he got sandwiched.
Oh, it was after the interception. So
it was on the Cowboys. All right.
No, it's on the Steelers. It was after the interception of chop block.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Micah Fitzpatrick with the interception. It will stand, B-Mac. All right. Big.
Did you? Hey, clip that and save that. All right. Clip that and save that. I said they'd be good for a turnover.
That was
they were prone to have a turnover.
Yeah, I said they're prone to get a turnover here, and they got it. Clip it and save it. Clip it and save it.
We were talking to Shaq about the defense. Why has the secondary been worse for the Steelers this year than last year?
You know what? Not having a Mike Hilton in the lineup has been a big loss. No one's really talking about. The slot corner for the Steelers, a bit undersized, but he's a feisty guy. He does a real good job blitzing, and he's like another quarterback on the defense. And he's been out the last 3-4 ball games, if I'm not mistaken, and just they haven't really been able to be consistent in the back end, not with Mike Hilton in the lineup.
And you agree that Minka's not playing as well as he did last year either, right?
But see, that's the thing. Minka is playing pretty good football, but he's not making the crazy all-world plays that he was making last year.
3 times a week.
Yeah, that's the thing. So when you look at the stat sheet, if you don't see an interception, sack, forced fumble, anything like that, you automatically think, well, he didn't play good because of what he did last year. It seemed like last year, every time he played in the ball game, he was in the stat sheet with a huge play, right? So the bar was set so high for him in his first year in the Steeler uniform. That's why it feels like he's been a letdown, to say the least, because the bar was set so high.
Will, isn't it funny that I asked Dave Dameshek that question instead of waiting to get
McFadden? Yeah, that occurred to me. I think, why don't we ask B-Mac the question? Dave's like, I mean,
I'm a Steelers football fan. Before I get the former cornerback for the Steelers, defense, you know.
Yeah. Like as soon as I thought, I was like, oh, wait, B-Mac's gonna know the answer to that. Like, he's gonna have like
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I wanted to ask you because we talked about.
By the way, the Steelers are minus 160 now after that.
Minus 160.
Oh man, that's sad.
Yeah,
I think the Steelers will win this game.
I think everybody feels that way. Anybody
They'll win by 2 touchdowns too.
They might cover. They might cover. I mean,
there's like 10 minutes left in the game, right?
They got the line was 14, so they need 15 to cover.
Yeah, they won't cover.
Yeah,
there's 11:45 left.
That missed extra point is gonna.
Yeah, that missed extra point was bad.
They'll march down here and then score 3 and out for the Cowboys, march down again and score, and then kick a field goal on their last one.
Meanwhile, Justin Herbert is getting ready for a potentially game-winning drive.
He's back?
He's back in.
I have
40 seconds left, down by 5, 31-26.
I have the Raiders money line, so this is.
Will.
You know, don't leave too much time for Derek Carr, I guess.
Yeah, Derek Carr's been playing some pretty good football.
He looks stupid on that. I mean, the Steelers are on like the 1-inch line.
Come on, let me get a James Conner touchdown. James Conner touchdown.
Mac, if you're a defensive coordinator here, you got Ben Roethlisberger who's gimpy, and he's at his own 1 yard line. Are you bringing the pressure or what? You bringing a blitz?
Yeah, you got to.
Johnson is out there.
Yeah, you got to.
Who's out there, Will?
Deontay Johnson is playing because he just.
You have him on your fantasy?
I took the over prop bet on his receiving game.
That's good. One of those. I own some of his football cards, so we're good.
So why do you care so much about Deontay Johnson? It's like obviously.
All right.
You get a James Conner touchdown.
4-man rush. I don't know. He's having a really crappy day. I don't get it because the Cowboys' run defense is atrocious.
And McFarland was doing all right early. Didn't he have a bunch of touches early?
I saw him get a couple. Let's see. McFarland has 2 carries and
No, he was catching balls.
2 catches.
All right. Well, like in the first quarter, that looked really good.
Conner has 6 carries for 21 yards. He just hasn't been involved. Weird, man.
Hey, Brian, I got another question. I hope you don't mind I'm peppering you with these questions.
Oh, no problem. That's
like
why we're here.
Christian McCaffrey comes back, right?
Grown man.
So I would have assumed that Curtis Samuel would have like kind of, because he was playing that kind of like X role, like doing a little bit of this, a little bit of running.
Yep.
So I would have thought like, okay, his like run is over now. But instead he had like an amazing game. Is that because did McCaffrey come in and like open it up a little more for him?
No, I think when McCaffrey was out of the lineup, it was actually a blessing in disguise for Samuels because remember, they could never really give him a quality position. He was like a joystick type player. And I think getting him in the backfield really helped his confidence and also being able to utilize him in the passing game. So now they're kind of the same player, right? CMC, Samuel, they're like a joystick player, but Christian McCaffrey is the best in the world at what he does. You know what I mean? So Samuel's like a poor man's Christian McCaffrey.
Be nice. He had 100 yards today.
I'm just saying.
They might be unlocking something here with him, though. You guys are right.
Yeah, because you can utilize Samuel in many different ways.
Yeah, okay. Like these quarterbacks are battling today.
Oh, did you guys just saw what Tua did?
Yeah, man.
2-yard scramble after he was about to get like sacked hard. And he just took off.
Yeah, you should have Emery Hunt on your podcast.
Well, but did you see Tua's touchdown pass?
You're the only other guy. What? You talking to me?
Tua's touchdown pass.
No. What? No.
Dude, come on. Like,
it's not even on the.
That's a pretty good ball game. That Arizona-Miami game is real good.
It's tied now. Deontay Johnson with a catch, Will.
Adam has some like illegally spliced cable feed that's faster than the like NFL Jesus, which is like
he said NFL Jesus.
That's what it's NFL GSIS. Game stat. I call it NFL Jesus. Is what people call it. It's like the feed for everything. Like this is where it comes. All the information comes from. And like I've never seen a TV that's faster than it. Aizer has some spliced like Spectrum cable feed that's somehow like 10 seconds faster.
Aizer, just turn your camera around, man. We don't.
You're right here. The reflection as you're watching Red Zone right there.
Get it off you and your unprofessional T-shirt and put it on your feed so we can just see what's happening.
League. This is a Jake Seeley special. Come on.
Still a T-shirt, man. You're hosting a CBS show. Have a little respect.
Did you look at how Will and I are dressed? I know. Like, stop. What are you're inside? You don't need a sweater on. Come on.
I did it for the show.
You don't have to.
All right. Well, Bryant looks good, man. Look what he's wearing.
Nato's not even actually wearing a button-up shirt. He's just like
I gotta do HQ. I gotta do HQ later, so I gotta look halfway decent.
Nato attached a collar to a sweater, and he's like,
it's a real shirt, Will.
When you guys see me on camera, my lines on my shirt, is it looking a little blurry? It looks a little funny.
Yeah, that always happens with those striped shirts, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for telling me midway through since I've been on.
I thought it was part of the shirt.
I've been down here for like 4 hours with Aizer, so at this point, nothing like phases me whatsoever.
Yeah, but Will has left twice during the 4 hours. So,
well, I ordered a pizza for my son, and
it's a good story, actually.
Yeah, so like my wife was like, "We're heading home now."
Something crazy just happened in the game.
What, the one we're supposed to be watching, or the one on your leave?
Yeah.
Oh, Ben. What is Ben doing?
Yeah, no, it's coming back, B-Mac. Don't worry. It's on the Cowboys.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Wow. That super fast connection he has.
Connection. Ben Roethlisberger's going like this. Come on back, everybody.
Oh, so then definitely on the Cowboys because Ben Roethlisberger was waving.
Yeah, he was right.
Thanks for that analysis.
It's like that's incomplete. The defender was shaking his hands. Don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah. That was a first down. All the players were going like this. It was definitely a first down.
Yeah. They got the ball. They were pointing in this direction. It's fine. They recovered the fumble. Don't worry.
Oh, that's such a weak call.
What was it? Illegal hands in the face or something?
You'll see it. No, you'll see it. It's illegal contact, I think, on Jalen Smith. Case Claypool fell down, so I don't know. That's a pretty weak call.
Herbert, are you okay, Herbert?
He took a shot.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, it's like it was on the back though.
Man, we got one possession games across the board here.
Yeah, this is good.
This late window.
And it's good too because the 1 o'clock games were not thrillers.
No.
It was like all chalk. At the
Right?
What just happened?
Vander Esch just punched him just punched McFarland.
Yeah, what's that all about?
What the hell?
This
That's
game
crazy. They got a tackle and just like punched him in the face.
This game is getting
What's
wild.
this? Why did he do that?
Vander, you can't do that when you're ahead.
Yeah.
I guess you can't do that, period. But I mean,
Right.
yeah.
He might get tossed.
Will, were we talking about this where like
Herbert got
there are teams that just lose? They just find way like they losing cultures.
The Chargers.
Oh no, he didn't get his head hit too bad.
I just don't like the Cowboys are just becoming that. You know, it's
The Chargers are the Kings.
Um,
No
Yeah.
one knows how to lose like the Chargers.
yeah,
Aizer's
agree.
rooting for the Cowboys here because he wants the Giants still to be like the worst team in the East.
No.
They're gonna win 5 in a row.
no. I said earlier the Giants win next week against the Eagles. Like you start talking about the division here. I'm rooting for the Steelers.
You've never said that.
I said it when you were supposed to be watching the Twitch stream and said you
Look at this punch.
were researching the AFL or whatever. Yeah, I said that. Did he punch him?
Why did he throw a punch? Yeah, so look, McFarland's got his hand on Van Der Esch's neck.
Oh yeah. There's a guy who had neck issues, so you don't get thrown out for that.
You might.
Open hand.
You can't throw a punch.
At all.
No, it's not. He's staying in. I don't think that's a punch.
Are the Raiders going to gag this? This is infuriating.
BMAC, what'd you think of the Bears Wims punching that guy in the helmet? Gardner.
That was just dumb.
That was insane.
Yeah.
What is it? What does this guy do though? He's like the dirtiest or like the most irritating cornerback.
I think it was more about, Wims getting ready for the Florida Georgia rivalry that we just saw yesterday. So he was just a week early. But regardless, you can't do that.
No.
You can't
Hey,
do
are the
that.
Seminoles still playing or did they just call it a season, by the way?
Is who still playing?
Seminoles.
Man, yeah, we called it a season.
Okay.
And y'all are 7-point dogs to NC State next week. That's
Yeah, I'm surprised only 7.
I know. That's not a good spot to be.
I'm in just like total gloat mood right now.
You really are. Aizer was thrashing me earlier.
Why? Because he went to Miami?
Because we beat Will's alma mater on Friday in a
Barely.
thriller.
That was a total letdown by the Wolfpack, by the way.
Total letdown.
Yeah, it was.
What was the final call in the Steeler game? It was a personal foul on Van Der Esch?
Van Der Esch, yeah. No, he wasn't tossed though.
Well, they just gave him 15 yards though on top of that run.
Ooh.
All right, let's take some inventory here of what's.
You know what I hate?
Okay, let's let Will talk.
I hate when red zone gets locked in on the national game. Like I've got because you want to
You
have
can watch the national game anytime because it's national.
right.
You're right.
Like everybody in the country is getting Steelers Cowboys.
But which
Yeah.
feed is better? Which feed's quicker?
Oh,
Maybe
the
we'll
regular
take the
one.
Chargers game, Will. Red zone.
This would be a big win for the Chargers and an ugly loss
There's
for the Raiders.
been a lot of
the Chargers game.
All right, here we go. The Chargers have, all right, Ben throws short to Deontay Johnson. Let's talk about the Chargers game. They got 32 seconds left in this game.
They need a touchdown.
They are down 31-26, and they are at the Vegas 24-yard line. Something is under review. I'm sure the people watching know. I obviously a little distracted here.
They're reviewing the spot to see if he got the first down or not.
The Dolphins and Cardinals, meanwhile, are tied at 31 with 10 minutes left in
It's a
a
good game.
fantasy bonanza. I'll go ahead and use the word. Kyler Murray has 40 fantasy points.
He
Oh,
does?
yeah.
What?
Crap.
40?
Oh my God, he's got 92 rushing yards.
He's thrown 23 passes. He's completed 19 of them for 241 yards, 3 touchdowns. 248 yards make that. Now he's 20 of 24. And he has 7 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown. So Kyler Murray is unstoppable. And Tua is having a nice game. Tua is 18 of 24. These guys have thrown 48 passes and they have 10 incomplete.
Oh, Ben.
Yeah.
You got to kick the field goal here.
So we got some drama going on, and we're going to check in as soon as the Raiders and the Chargers are back at it.
I just got a text from Aizer. Like, I don't know who Bryant McFadden is. Thanks, man. It's like, hey, it's not Brian. I'm like, thanks, but I've been saying it with a T.
B-Mac, did you hear a T? Because I kept thinking Nando was saying Brian.
I mean, a lot of people say either or. I'm used to either or.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a famous football player. Obviously, I know your name's Bryant.
No, but honestly, everybody calls me B-Mac.
Probably because they forget if there's a T.
Yeah.
That way they avoid it.
You know what's funny? When I was playing, all my coaches called me B-Mac. Head coach, didn't matter. People that work in the facility, secretaries, it didn't matter. Hey, B-Mac. No one said Bryant except my mom. Bryant.
I am here for Nando calling out Aizer for the
Well, I mean, that was kind of ridiculous. If he was like, "Hey, man, it's pronounced Dameshek," I'd be like, "All right, cool, thanks, man."
Listen, man, I heard you say his name. It sounded like you were saying Brian. I was trying to do you a solid.
I never once thought he said Brian.
Thanks, Aizer.
No, you're not even listening. You're just thinking about the next question you're going to ask. I'm already asking a question.
Wait, we were in the same league together last year too. We played in the same fantasy league together too.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
like
Who, me?
Yeah, I think in the Jamey and the one that Jamey turned.
I probably was beating you.
Also,
that was bad because it was a mock.
He's a former professional football player. Nando is a sports writer for a living. Get out of here.
I didn't hear a T. That's all I'm saying. I was trying to be helpful. I didn't hear a T.
Hey, man, that's Ezekiel with an L at the end. You've been calling him Ezekiel?
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam.
Hey, Will, you ever seen the movie Clifford with Martin Short?
No one's ever seen that movie.
I know Clifford, but I've never seen
Wow.
Chargers.
That's a big time throw by Herbert.
Bro, he is incredible. Chargers down to the 4-yard line. Clock still running. No,
No,
time.
he was out of bounds. Wasn't he out of bounds?
I thought so. They did not get to him. It's going to come down to one play, maybe two. Spike it with 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
They got 2 plays.
Yeah.
They got 2 plays.
It's the Chargers.
Quarterback draw.
All right, you're a defensive back on the Raiders right now. Like, what's on
Fade
your
ball, Mike Williams. Back shoulder. Or they might throw it at the highest point. Fade ball, Mike Williams. Or you put Keenan Allen in the slot, give him a 2-way go.
I
And
forgot
you got
to bet the over.
Option route.
How do you decide to fade between Mike Williams and Keenan Allen if you're the offensive coach there?
Based on the
for Anthony
matchup,
Lynn.
the thing that I think the Raiders are going to do, they're going to protect the goal line. So they're not going to max. They're not going to bring extra pressure. They're going to drop everybody. That's why I'm like, if they're going to, well, let me see.
Here we go. I'm not going to say anything.
Well, they brought it. What I said, fade ball.
Mike Williams. Incomplete.
I said fade ball, right?
Yep. I feel like Brian. I feel like the is not. Mike Williams hurt. That sucks.
He's always hurt, man.
Very low percentage play these days. Like, it used to be pretty successful. I don't know anymore.
No, it's never really been successful.
Adam, what does it mean when you say the AT&T girl is pretty hot, right? What does that one mean?
You texting about the AT&T girl?
No,
Creep.
80% of me is false. At least 80%. No, I did not text him that. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, Mike Williams had that. That's a nice play by the defensive back.
That was a good play. What do you do as a defensive back when you are that much smaller than someone?
You got to play his hands. Allow his hands to tell you to raise your hands. One quick little sneaky nugget that referees usually don't see when you're running a deep ball or something similar to a fade route. If you put your hands on the wide receiver wrist, and when his wrist moves to go up, you just go up also. They can't really see you grabbing his wrist.
Go up. Oh, that's a good trick.
Oh, that's cool. Doesn't that feel like cheating though?
It is. They cheat all the time. They usually push off on every deep route.
Yeah.
Have you gotten like pump faked before with the wrist? Like if they figured it out, they're like, okay. And then,
nah, because it's a bang bang play. Usually they're running and they're not going to hit you with this while trying to run in mid stride. So while they're running, when you put your hand on that wrist, when they go up, you go up too. You just got to be wild with it, or you got to be reckless with it because you never know where the ball could land at.
You played in the NFL? Is that correct, sir?
Just on Madden.
Like, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I guess this makes Aizer a good person too, but it kind of makes him a weenie in my opinion.
He called him a weenie.
earlier, Aizer was like, I have an ethical question for you, Will. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. Like, what sort of deep philosophical thinking is this? He goes, on that kick return by the Cowboys that they ran, the guy who caught the pass at the beginning of the kick return pretended to be injured and was making a big stink of it, and then all of a sudden wasn't injured. I think he was faking. Is that ethically wrong? It's like, no, that's not ethically wrong. That's football.
B-Mac, you see that play, the gag punt return where where he threw the lateral across the field?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Great
so
play.
the guy who caught the lateral was holding his hamstring, pretending he was hurt to sort of like take himself out of the play, and he was fine. And as soon as his teammate fielded the punt, he darts and gets behind him, and he runs. I don't know. I think that's a little cheap, pretending you're hurt.
Well, not necessarily, because you can pretend you're hurt while the play is in while it's being ran, right? It wasn't like he was hurting while there was stoppage in the play. I can tell you one thing about those plays, guys. You only can run them one time. When you put them on film, that's it. So whenever you run it, you better make sure you need to run it. And for the Cowboys, this ball game was a need to run anything.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Did anybody catch the flea flicker in the Giants game today, by the way?
No.
Very poorly executed. How about the fumble in the Giants game? I counted, I think 9 or 10.
The hot potato?
Yeah, holy.
The Herbert throw.
Uh-oh.
I think, right? Or they call timeout.
What happened?
No,
They have one more timeout left.
They called timeout. Yeah, red zone's on the Cardinals game. So I was like, what's
The Raiders called timeout.
Raiders
I
called
read that
timeout.
wrong.
Hey,
Arizona 3rd and 4. Yes, sir.
Is Daniel Jones developing still? Is he gonna be good? No, that's it. All right.
Oh, not feeling it, huh?
Ooh, Kyler Murray.
All right,
Daniel Jones, one thing about quarterbacks,
Here we go.
turnovers just don't leave you. Another fade ball.
What just happened?
That Hunter Henry?
Oh, no.
Fade ball.
Was Donald Parham?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm
Was
so
it?
far behind.
Adam, I don't know if he played in the XFL.
That is a big win for the Chargers, a bad loss for the Raiders.
I'm texting my friend Dan, who made us cut Donald Parham from a dynasty league this week.
Let's see. They got to review this here.
Booth review. That Justin Herbert is a bad man.
Dude, right? He is terrific.
Oh, that one hurts.
All right, B-Mac, who you got? Herbert, you're drafted again. Herbert or Burrow? You're the Bengals.
Oh, that's a touchdown. That's a good question, yo. I go Joe Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, I go Joe Cool.
Is there more film? Is there more film on one than the other?
Joe Burrow's a bad man. I mean, think about this now. I mean, yeah, they're not winning a lot of ball games, but heck, they might have the same amount of wins as the Chargers. And I would say the Chargers have better offensive personnel than the Bengals and defensive personnel.
I don't know. I mean, they have the Bengals offensive line is terrible, but the Bengals
He's controlling that? Does he definitely have control of that all the way to the ground?
Oh.
Whoa.
You know, this would be so LA Chargers for them to have this call overturned and they lose.
You know what it would be? It would be.
The ball's loose when he hits the ground. Is out of bounds. Watch this.
It would
I
be.
mean, Will, I think you're seeing this from a betting perspective because
from a I'm holding the Oakland Raiders money line angle. That's possible.
the Raiders are going crazy like he didn't catch it.
That's gotta be.
Can we get Aizer's punchline out, please? Because he's gonna explode if he doesn't.
I got a great one.
The ball hits the ground. The ball's not he didn't catch it. It's not even a catch.
Will, if the Chargers.
The ball hits the ground. Are you nuts? Watch
All right, we get it. Jesus, let me make my damn joke.
What do you have against Donald Parham Jr.?
If the Chargers lose this game, it would be so Parham for the course. There it is. Thank you. No, thank you. God. It's all about turnover. Somebody fumbled for the Cardinals and the Dolphins.
Oh my goodness.
Parham for the course, ladies and gentlemen. Parham for the course. All right, we got some drama going on here, ladies and gentlemen. And
How come you never bring up Twitch comments? You make them feel like they're part of the show, man. It's pretty messed up.
Somebody said, "Stop it, Will."
Stop what?
I don't know. B-Mac is smooth AF. That's pretty good.
B-Mac is smooth AF.
He is, yeah. He's pretty
Where are
smooth.
these questions coming from? Do we have a name with these questions?
Yeah, these are on Twitch. Here's a question for B-Mac. What did you prefer to play on, turf or grass? I think this guy asks every guest we have.
Grass.
Question.
Give me grass. What you
Do
need?
you think more injuries happen on one more than the other?
Are you not
Grass.
saying their names
I would love to play on grass.
because you think they're swear words by accident?
You kind of.
The Chargers, the Chargers have found every way to lose. You know what? Watching the Chargers play is like listening to a bad love song.
Ooh, like what? Like what's a bad love song? Like,
I don't know, something that you know is just going to be, it doesn't make any sense and it's just sad. It's like watching a Lifetime movie.
I don't know. Like the Chargers find new amazing ways to lose. I don't know that I've ever seen a play where it looked like an obvious touchdown, and then we needed like 7 replay angles to realize that the ball wasn't even close to being caught and
Exactly.
definitely hit the ground. And they were selling like only the Chargers.
Only the Chargers.
Why are you throwing a fade to Donald Parham? Like, get Keenan Allen, get Hunter Henry. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, if you're going to throw a fade ball, I understand you want to go size, but back shoulder it to Keenan Allen if Mike Williams is not in the game.
The Raiders now improving to 5-3. So
That's a big win. That was a big win for the Raiders. Big win.
All right, if you have any more, give me a bad love song. I'd love to know a bad love song. That's a really good.
Bad love song.
How about the song by Kiss? What's their terrible love song?
It's the rock group.
Yeah. They've got like a ballad. Oh, it's forever.
What?
Don't make me sing. I'm Adam Aizer.
That song is terrible.
Get your guitar.
Adam, you've been waiting for that moment to showcase your voice.
Thank you.
Yes,
How can I sing Kiss today? How can I sing Kiss?
I love your confidence.
He's got an incognito window open. And this time he's doing it for Twitch.
Shout out to Twitch, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Lowe's.
I don't know what
Lowe's.
you're talking about, man. The Cowboys-Steelers game, we got 4 minutes left. Steelers have the ball.
Steelers have the ball. Listen, this is a lot going on, man. This man, whoever this guy is, man, I'm rooting for him to get his $438,000.
Yeah, me too. But if you have enough money to bet $4,000 on a parlay, I think he's going to be all right, no matter what. Right?
But think about this, Adam. Would you really say that? Because if he bet 20,000 on a seven leg parlay, then you really strapped for cash. You got cash. But 4,000, I mean, that could be just like I'm going on a limb.
Yeah, that's a good point.
4,000? That's a pretty expensive limb.
My limit's
It
3.
is. But think about if your pocket's extremely heavy, you might double that up and go 8, might go 12, might go 15, 16.
Yeah,
Did this man used to play professional football? This anonymous man who's trying to justify the $4,000.
Oh, you think? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's his alter ego, Brian McFadden.
The Brian, yes,
Brian McFadden,
Brian.
the parlay machine.
Brian McMadden.
The parlay. Low key though, guys, I got the Steelers in one of my parlays as well. So
But you do like to do a bunch of parlays.
oh, I love the parlays. I've been really rocking heavy with the money line parlays, and I just load up. So I got the Steelers, and I have Tampa and New England. So far, everybody else has covered for me.
Whoa, how many teams?
Chase
I
played
had 6.
a bad game, by the way. You had 60. Okay, sorry, Will. My bad.
Oh, I got another question for you, Bryant.
Yes, sir.
The Patriots got Isaiah Ford, right? And they lost Edelman, and Ford's been playing a ton in the slot. Can he just step right in and do like 7'6", 85, or is this like going to take a little while?
You say separate?
Well, no, like get 7 targets, 6 catches, 85. Like, can he just jump in and get Edelman numbers? Is that what is that their expectation?
Let's say a bunch of.
No, I don't think so. I think
He plays fantasy, he knows.
I wouldn't trust any pass catcher in a Patriots uniform
All right.
when it comes to fantasy. The only guys I would trust would probably be running backs, and James White, Damian Harris has been really balling. But when it comes to pass catchers, no. Because two things with the Patriots offense, wide receiver wise, are pass catchers. They don't have a consistent number one guy, and the quarterback has been a bit erratic from when you look at throwing the football. So he hasn't really established a relationship with any one of his pass catchers that you can depend on that can be that fantasy option in a Patriots uniform.
Are you doing this just because they're playing the Jets?
No. Or the Jets. Oh, yeah, they do have the Jets, right? You know what? This will be one of those weird ball games where the Jets just screw up everything for people who believe the Patriots will win. And they might have you biting your nails in late in the fourth quarter. That's what the Jets do.
They might.
I'm surprised that guy with the parlay didn't throw the Pats in instead of the Steelers.
Well, this was his easy one, right? This is like his slam dunk at the end of like the impossible path.
This is the layup. The Steelers and the Cowboys with Garrett Gilbert. That's Garrett Gilbert. That was the layup.
Oh, Will.
What happened? What happened?
Good thing.
You'll see.
Oh, is that Johnson?
What's your prop bet, Will? What's your prop bet?
That Johnson is
Johnson?
smooth.
Yeah, that was Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson is a smooth.
He looks exactly like Juju Smith-Schuster, and they wear almost identical numbers, so you can't.
Very frustrating.
But
That cashed it.
by the way, we got to talk about this game here. The Cowboys just committed a terrible roughing the
Did he
passer
step out? Did he step out? Oh my God! Did he step out?
on 3rd and 10. I don't know, Will.
No!
Oh, looks
Yeah, I
like he
think he
did.
stepped out. Hey, what's going on in the Arizona game?
No!
31-31, Dolphins are driving.
Go.
They're up for a field goal.
Thoughts on Chase Claypool for fantasy? That's our question here. Man, he's got some drops today. Here he is.
Yeah, Chase has had some drops, but he got a bright future.
I think Juju's healthy, man. Like he was on the list, the questionable, whatever, with a knee for so many weeks. I think
Juju might be back.
And they were hitting him with such short passes too. Like the air yards passes to him were so small compared to the rest of that team.
Well, let's answer the question though, guys, for our viewers here. Thoughts on Claypool? I think it's going to be frustrating. He's got 12 targets today, but Roethlisberger's thrown 40 passes. It's not going to be typical for him. They don't throw the ball downfield, so I would try. I mean, if anybody's buying, I'd probably try to sell after.
No, he's a cut guy. I think. I don't think anyone's going to trade for
What?
him. Right?
No,
targets and 7 catches for 64 yards. Like
I'm not cutting Chase Claypool.
Dolphins take the lead on a field goal. Oh, I'll just let you guys watch.
Oh man,
What just happened?
Adam, there are a bunch of people watching too.
Adam, what kind of connection do you have?
it's insane. I got that one too.
Uh-oh. Is that Eric Ebron?
It is.
I don't want him to score.
Only B-Mac, two-time Super Bowl champion for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Angry. This is what fantasy does to you. Angry that Eric Ebron caught a potential game-winning catch for his team.
Third catch of the game. They didn't even have that good of a game.
I didn't want him to score.
Yo, how much hurdling was
Not Eric.
when you were playing? Like how much? Because this happens all the time. Guys go.
Yeah.
They get hurdled. How much of that was? Is that?
It wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing like how it is now.
Because you were hitting up higher.
Yeah. Back then, getting knocked out wasn't a big issue like it is now. So nowadays, guys are going lower.
Right. Okay.
Garrett Gilbert looks very relaxed on that sideline shot. Like it's like he knows he's going to go 82 yards and lead them to victory.
What do you think, Nando? You think he will?
No, I think Pittsburgh's going to win. I can see like a turnover or a disputed 4th and 1 run.
Just kick the extra point. Just because I got Boswell.
What fantasy league are you in, by the way? That you're so is it?
I'm in quite a few of them. I'm just everywhere right now. And right now I'm in 3 leagues that I'm monitoring right now, and I'm winning in all 3 leagues. But because that Eric Ebron touchdown, 86-86, he has P. Ryan left for the Jets, and I have Gronkowski left, and we're tied. And I have Boswell also, but I didn't kick the extra point.
Do you think you're going to win?
That's close.
With Gronkowski versus P-Ron?
Yeah, Gronkowski is starting to play some real good football.
So you're a South Florida guy, and are you friends with Antonio Brown? Are you in the same circles?
Yeah. Well, of course, I haven't spoke to AB. Last time I spoke to AB was when I saw him in Pittsburgh when he was still at the Steelers. It's funny. I spoke with one of my buddies who's on the staff with the Buccaneers this morning, and he said that football-wise, said that man, he still has it.
Yeah.
He said, man, he's probably the best wide receiver they have right now.
Better than Mike Evans?
Ow.
Evans.
I'm just telling you guys
All right.
what he told to me. He says, what's the coach? The coach on the Buccaneers that the offensive guy, the older coach, is it Mora?
Tom Moore.
Tom Moore. Yeah.
And he's been around the game forever. Based on seeing AB practice for a week, he said he's probably the best he's seen.
Wow. Aizer, you know that B-Mac and Antonio Brown were teammates, right?
Yeah, I just remembered. Rookie. That's only 1 year, right? It was Antonio.
That's Bryant McFadden. He played for the Steelers.
It was 1 year. It was Antonio.
Grew up in South Florida.
It was Antonio Brown's rookie season. I don't know if they're still friends. Like, what do I know? Am I right? It was 1 year with Antonio Brown?
2.
Dude, damn it. Oh, I thought it was 1. Okay.
Aizer just texted me, do you think he can get me Antonio Brown's autograph? That's a weird thing to send during a show.
Who just sent that text?
No, I didn't.
I'm joking.
Never believe
I was just want to make sure I wasn't hearing things, right?
Yeah, because so you won a Super Bowl your rookie year and then your first year back with Pittsburgh, right?
My rookie year, my 4th year.
Man, that's a good start. That's a good start too. That's what a career, man.
Back was when y'all lost to Rodgers.
Yeah, my rookie in my 4th year.
Yeah, because 2010 was my first year with CBS, and like that, the Packers Steelers Super Bowl was my first.
Yeah, that was the year I came back.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember media day, And I was walking around, the players all around. There's a bunch of podiums and all that. Oh, Cardinals are just going to tie this up, aren't they?
No,
And,
They're gonna score.
I remember briefly talking to Antonio Brown and just like that dude out of the box just had the smokiest voice.
Yeah, yo, what's up, Will? You good, Will? Yeah, Will, I'm just AB, Will. Yeah.
I was like, I just remember talking to me like that dude's got a cool voice. I wonder if he'll be any good. And it turned out because he didn't do anything his first 2 years, really, right?
Yeah, like his third, fourth years when he went in like, phew.
Yeah.
I bet BMAC was crushing him in practice, ruined his confidence. We just needed BMAC to get out of there.
We had some studs. We had AB, Emmanuel Sanders, Mike Wallace. Whew.
Fresh off Santonio Holmes too.
Yes.
Okay, so we got 2-minute warning coming up here. My fantasy teams are so bad that Kyler Murray has
Wow, did you see this stat, by the way?
What?
This would be the first 8-0 start in Steelers history.
Yes.
Wow.
Cool.
Aizer's so sick of me interrupting him.
I cannot get a sentence out. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, thanks for setting up the game that everyone's watching. We keep going.
I mean, Adam has this crazy connection. I mean, I never see a guy with a connection like Adam's. Like,
Hey, dude, I just came back from 8:10 p.m. Guess what happened in the Jets game?
Hey, Will, I challenge you to not interrupt me the rest of the show. Any questions on Twitch, fire away. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you, BMAC. Did Patrick Peterson have an assignment this week? Was he going to shadow Devontae Parker?
Nah, he didn't say he was going to have assignment.
I'm curious to know.
Guys, I got to get ready to go. I forgot I have HQ I have to do.
All right, man. Thanks for
Appreciate you having me.
See you back.
It's very nice to meet you.
Likewise.
and to learn your name. All right. 3 of us are going to hang out and finish the watch party here presented by Lowe's. This has been an awesome game. Kind of unexpectedly for sure, but the Cowboys have a chance to win. You're still on with us, BMAC.
Hold on.
You gotta hang up the Zoom.
How do I hang up?
Or Jamey, toss him out of here.
Jamey, get him, kick him out.
Throw BMAC out of the club.
We just gonna sit here in silence while he tries to disconnect Adam.
On the bottom right, a big lead.
There we go. All right, 2nd and 10 here for Gilbert Gottfried. And
Adam, are you in flex?
Had that happen? Like,
yeah, I'm in flex.
30 to 40% of the time when guests leave, like they're like, who was it 2 weeks ago that like didn't know that he needed to exit and he just sat there?
Oh yeah, that was bad. I don't remember
who was it.
It was
Vernon Davis.
Oh yeah.
I was just talking, like looking at.
It wasn't that bad. I was like, you can leave, man, because we don't have commercial breaks, so people don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at the stats in this game, Ezekiel Elliott has 18 carries for 51 yards and 1 catch for 16 yards. Back to that in a moment. 3rd down. And wow. Wait.
I thought Zeke was gone.
2 catches now for Zeke. CeeDee Lamb caught a touchdown. Amari Cooper has 5 catches for 67 yards. And Dalton Schultz, 4 catches for 48. Pretty good days for the wide receivers for the Steelers. Juju, 6 for 93 and a touchdown. Deontay Johnson, 6 for 77 on 10 targets. Claypool, 8 catches for 69 yards on 13 targets. Ebron scored. James Washington scored. And Ben Roethlisberger with 30 points, 30 fantasy points. And like I said, started in less than 60% of leagues. What I was saying earlier was that Kyler Murray, my teams are so bad that I need Kyler Murray to score another touchdown because he has not given me quite enough fantasy points yet somehow, some way. And he has 41 fantasy points, something like that. But they have a 4th and 1, and they're going to kick a game-tying field goal, it seems. Would you go for this, guys? If you're the let's talk about the Cowboys first, then we'll come back to the Cardinals. 4th down and 8.
You gotta.
Obviously, if you're the Cowboys, you have to go for it. But the Cardinals.
What'd you ask?
Because I was asking about the Cardinals.
The Cardinals are a 4th and 1, down 3 points with 2 minutes left.
You're going to either kick a 49-yard field goal or you're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
Go for me. You got DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald. You got plenty of talent that have been through this before.
All right, Steelers just won. So it's probably anyway. And they get to the quarterback there. And Zane Gonzalez.
Oh, Dallas has 2 timeouts left.
Ties the game. Put the points on the board, right? Did he make it? Oh, he missed it?
Oh, he missed it. What did happen, Aizer?
Aizer, you said he made it.
Good. It's short. It's no good.
They got this.
Oh, my God. Had any timeouts left?
Did it get
Why would
blocked?
you lie to Twitch like
I
that?
think it might have gotten blocked because it came up a little short. I think they should have gone for that. No, it wasn't blocked. I think you just missed
You
it.
just shorted it. Wow. I have the. I
Gone
took
for
the.
that.
No, no, I'm jinxing this. This could go wrong, but I took the live under at 65 and a half.
It's at 65 right now. Wow. 2-minute warning with 2 timeouts. We're gonna have some pretty damn good ball games
No,
here.
they're already through the 2-minute warning.
Oh, that was the 4th and 1 play. Was that?
Yeah, the 3rd and 1 got them to Kyler Murray's pass
Yeah, I got
happened on the 2-minute warning. Yeah.
gotcha.
Or no, it happened after the 2-minute warning. Excuse me.
First down wins the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Few yards here for James Conner. I feel like we haven't talked today, Nando. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
How was your weekend?
It was all right. It was spent basically researching for this spot on the show. Didn't really do much, Adam. I was off all week from work, so I just kind of
You were?
savored those last few moments. Yeah.
Why were you off?
I like to take a week off in the middle of the season just to kind of like recharge and go strong at the end.
Okay. Oh,
And I actually did some home improvement work.
So like a bye week.
Yeah, it's like a buy. That's exactly. Thank you, Will. I never thought of it like that. But yeah.
Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, rest of season. How you guys ranking them?
Just like that.
No,
Dalvin Cook's unstoppable right now.
I'm taking Kamara. I'm taking McCaffrey.
Why? McCaffrey's got a buy in week 13.
Oh, that's a good point.
Dude, Cook. So Brady Quinn, this is sort of a third-hand story, but I think it was Brady, wasn't it? So yeah, pretty sure it's Brady.
It's a good story so far, man. This is great.
Brady had had like Dalvin Cook on his radio show, I think, and was like, and he basically said, "They're gonna feed me." Like so one of the guys, it was either the offensive, it was either Zimmer or Cook, but somebody basically intimated like we're about to give Dalvin Cook everything he can handle in terms of carries. And if you look at his schedule coming up, he has the Jaguars, Panthers, and Cowboys. He's going to go nuts for the next month.
Yeah, he is.
And he's already having 200-yard, 4-touchdown
He
games.
doesn't catch the ball, though. That's the thing. He doesn't catch the ball.
So what?
He'll pass the ball.
Well, it's so what when you're talking about just like starting or sitting him, but when you're comparing him to Christian McCaffrey, who had 10 catches today, it's a big deal.
I didn't expect Mike Davis to get pushed aside so casually.
Yeah, rotating series. Let me tell you something. We've had that report. We had Aaron Jones was going to be limited. We had Jermichael Hasty was going to, lead the way. We've had a bunch of crap reports right before game time. So,
Well, I mean, if you're a coach, wouldn't you lie?
then don't report it. It's like
But Jason Lockenfora reported.
short of the first down.
Jason Lockenfora reported that McCaffrey was going to be full bore earlier in the week.
Okay, well, today the news broke that they were going to rotate series. This morning, that was on Roto World. Claypool can't get the first down. That means it's either field goal or go for it here. Do you just play it safe, kick the field goal, go up 8?
You should tag their tweet as a lie on Twitter. Get them Roto World in trouble.
No, we don't have to worry.
Actual information.
Twitter changed that policy
Yesterday.
I can't remember when they do it. Maybe like Wednesday. Yeah. Maybe like yesterday afternoon, like 11:30 or so. I don't know.
They're not going for this, are they?
I think you should go for it.
Who, the Steelers?
Damn field goal and go up 8.
Oh, boy.
What are you doing? Oh, that is terrible. You think that Garrett Gilbert's going down the field, scoring and getting a 2-point conversion?
Oh, man, you've got your faith in your offense. Come on, why are you questioning Mike Tomlin?
You're making the argument for why you go for it. If you don't think Garrett Gilbert can go down the field and score, then you
go up 8. You go up 8 points. It's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. Oh, my God.
Oh, Dolphins win.
Wow.
2 up the middle.
Great
First down.
win. Great win for them.
That's a huge win.
So what are they now? 5-3?
5-3. Tua is 2-0 since taking over, and played really well today.
Adam, why didn't you make a big deal out of them not getting the fourth down? Not getting the first down.
I'm sorry, I'm here to watch a football game. Yeah, you should get. I hope they win now. The Steelers, that was a horrible decision. That was a great throw by a better catch. CeeDee Lamb with a great catch. Is that CeeDee Lamb? Yeah.
Who ran that fourth down for the Steelers?
Thought it was James Conner.
Was it?
I cannot believe that live under held up.
Oh my gosh, what a bad decision, Mike Tomlin. Now CeeDee Lamb with a big game. Let's see what his start percentage was.
63%.
No, I'm going to say in the 40s. 24%.
Wow. Oh, because Garrett Gilbert. That makes more sense now. Yeah. What was Gallup's? What was Michael Gallup's?
He's only rostered in 52% of our leagues. He was started in 9%.
Oh, so I was working off Yahoo numbers. That's my bad.
Amari Cooper started in 48% of leagues.
That was good. That was good. I was like, why is he doing that?
Yahoo's all a lot of 10-team leagues, right?
What was Amari Cooper?
48% started.
Was Dalton Schultz. Rookie quarterback, throws to the tight end a lot.
11%.
Wow.
Only rostered in 33% of leagues.
Was he got 7 targets?
Something like that.
Are your stats working today?
Juju Smith-Schuster, 79% started. Chase Claypool, 78% started. Deontay Johnson, 56% started.
Every time you move your head, your beard changes like length. It's weird. Yeah, see, like short, and straight, you look like the Wolverine. It's like you just shaved your chin part.
That's what I thought earlier. I almost asked him. I was like, "Oh my god, is Aizer shaving his chin?"
Yeah, look at the Wolverine.
This year? Oh, wow. Yeah.
It looks. There's like a chunk of it that looks like it might be shaved.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Yeah.
It's not, I swear. I think it's gray.
Yeah, it's definitely gray.
Not showing up in the light.
Yeah, but like for a minute there, it looked like you were like doing like crazy long lamb chops.
Yeah, how depressing is getting old? Like,
I think it's great. I'm sure you're probably in front of the mirror, like snipping each individual gray hair. I got a Twitch stream tonight.
so
I've been
depressing.
accused of dyeing my hair. It's just baseless accusations.
You dye your hair. Interesting.
I don't. I don't begrudge anybody who does.
All right, we got 30 seconds left.
Just in case Just for Men is sponsoring the show next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has been one of our better home team watch parties presented by Lowe's. We had great guests today. We had Bryant, McFadden,
You're a good friend, man. I love you.
Dameshek, and we had DeMarco Murray on earlier too. So it was a good time. And Nando and Will, of course. And Josh Gad.
Jamey. And Josh Gad. I can't wait until the season's over and you get all the stuff in the mail.
What do you guys think? I think he might be out. His heels might have come down before the toes.
It looks like it.
I think it's gonna stand though. Gonna stand. Yep. Call stands. We got a game here.
What do you do here now, Adam? You're out of timeouts.
You punt.
Do you hook and ladder? Do you start doing that crazy stuff? Do you bomb one out to?
Yeah, 31 seconds. You could throw 4 Hail Marys.
I would do that.
That works. Can you do that in 30 seconds? Probably not.
Third string for a guy just signed off the Cleveland Browns practice squad, 29 years old, former AFL player, AAFL. AFL or AAFL?
American, I don't know. AAFL? USFL?
I'm sitting here sweating a baseball card that I'm trying to buy on eBay right now
What is it?
for $7. Let me tell you something. I don't want to tell you because I know you and you'll drive up the price.
Yeah.
But it's last year Topps made this holiday set of cards.
No. Second down. Incomplete. All right, what do you got?
No, I'll tell you later.
No,
They could have thrown a flag on that.
I need Michael Gallup yards for a prop.
Good luck, man. What's the prop?
We just got some.
No, he didn't.
I'm pretty sure he did.
No, it's the AAF.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, that bounced off. Oh, great job, Gallup.
That was Ezekiel Elliott, bro.
I can't read. Yeah.
Come on. All right, let's see. We got 23 seconds, 3rd and 10. Nando, I think I would try to pick up the first down.
All right.
And they did. Get down, bro. Oh, it's Michael Gallup.
Wow. Will from the future.
This is great.
Hey, I need $1 million.
This is
Keep trying.
Let's all predict the way this game ends. I'm going to say touchdown, said Wilson.
I'm going to say 4th down, turnover on downs.
They have 7 seconds left and it's first down.
You know how many yards I need from Michael
I
Gallup?
didn't look up again.
I need 32.5 yards from Michael Gallup total.
Where are they at the 31?
36!
They need a fall. You need a false start penalty for that, right?
No, he got it. He cashed.
Oh, I thought you meant now you need it.
No. 32.5 for the
No,
game.
now Will doesn't care who wins or loses.
Yeah.
Oh, for the game. I thought you meant 32 or a half more.
You know who does that guy with the parlay?
Can you imagine betting a Michael Gallup prop for like 75 yards?
Dude, yeah, the parlay guy is freaking out right now.
Melting down right now.
Come on, I gave my prediction. Said Wilson touchdown. Will, what's the last play of the game?
Zeke Elliott catch out of the backfield gets stopped on the 1 yard line.
Nando?
Bobbled up interception just short of the end zone. Actually, no, Gilbert, he'll throw it into the end zone. I think he's got that arm strength.
Yeah.
Where did you get that picture of me, by the way, from my GIFs?
Yeah, yes. Actually, how do you have so many?
I did at the Super Bowl. There's like this company that made GIFs for you, so I took like 7 pictures.
Why are they all over the internet?
So on Twitter, it's like it's powered by Giphy or whatever.
Yeah.
It was the Giphy guys.
Yeah, it was them.
And so like if you could dance around and they would film you and then they would upload them to Twitter.
The Aizer, that looks like a photo shoot that someone made you do for some kind of promotion that never happened.
No, it wasn't.
Like, we got to do this for Wendy's. Can you just dance like a weirdo for 5 minutes like this? I got more.
You got more? What do you mean?
I mean, I got more of these.
Oh, great. Great. You're not invited back.
That looks like a real photo, though.
Here comes the said Wilson.
That's all Photoshop.
Here comes the said Wilson touchdown. Throw the ball, bro.
Oh, I was going to say that Minka breaks up the pass.
Yeah, you were close on the play before that. Said Wilson caught a pass at least.
Oh, was it?
Right guy.
Notice. And the Steelers breathe a sigh of relief, and somebody just made 400 today. Brian McFadden. Wow, what a great game. What a great afternoon of football. That was a lot of fun. And Nando, thanks for hopping on, man.
I'm excited for the Jets game now. When can we hang out again? What if we put a TV up outside on your deck, on your luxurious large deck?
I don't know how that would happen. I think we'd better outside, out back. We could try that.
That's what I just said.
I heard that you can
outside on the.
I heard that you can fit like 2 or 3 guys on your deck. That's that.
He could fit 20 or 30. Will I've seen it.
Here. We are out of here.
He's got a fancy place in Sleepy Hollow, New York, my friend.
Thanks a lot to everyone for listening.
Look, he's got framed photos on his walls, man. He's rolling in that.
It was weird. It was weird when he said that, Will. I thought it was also very weird.
What?
All right, listen, end the stream. End the stream. This has been
we got more football. Let's give him bonus time.
This has been the Home Team Watch Party presented by Lowe. It's Fernando DeFino and Will Brinson. I'm Adam Aizer. Thanks to Jamey Mazowski and Ben Trager for making all this happening. Thanks to all of our guests for coming on. And thanks so much to all of you for watching. Really appreciate you hanging out with us on Sunday afternoon. I just hit my hand on the laptop and it hurt a little bit. So I'm going to go put some ice on it and enjoy some Sunday Night Football. See ya.